instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip, left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. Despite going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side. As
we've seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Might be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. He's screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall and now ends middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net. Something.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you. Chef Billy here alongside my good buddy Orbital. I had a chance to meet you in Kansas City a couple months ago, but we're here for week number 3 of the Peach Belt Conference's Rocket League season. We are going to be having a pretty good matchup here today, especially concerning some of the characters that I've been looking at in the chat. We're going to have some fun with them today, but it is Georgia State and College and University going up against Florida Southern College. And we'll see how they come out here. We're looking to see somebody really put their nose ahead here in the Peach Belt Conference. Orbital, I mean, we do different titles. We do a lot of different games, but it's the first chance for us to come here on Rocket League. What are you looking for today from these two teams?
I'm looking for an extended battle is what I want. As much as, some people want to see the 3-0 and all that fun stuff, I personally go in the other direction. I want the OTs every single time, and I believe it was week number 2 a couple weeks ago. I want to say 1 or 2 weeks ago. I actually got to see FSC play, and the thing about it is FSC, of course, if you follow the Peach Belt at all, you know that they are some of the best one of the best teams out there, very, very high level, and they actually won one of the titles recently and in the last semester. So coming into this season, a lot of people were expecting a lot of high hopes, a lot of high praise for them, and they got off to a very shaky start. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in the competition seems to have gone up a level, right? It's so, so exciting to see some fantastic gameplay, and I expect both GCSU as well as FSC to give us some banger games.
Well, I think you're right. I think that Florida Southern is that pedigree, but I think that with the explosion of collegiate esports, I think that the bar is being raised across all titles. I think that you are getting these smaller conferences that are starting to really invest and really buy into the whole collegiate blueprint that has been laid out here for us. And now you're starting to see the level of the cream is rising and people are starting to get up there. So we are definitely looking forward to it as we head into game number 1. This is a first to 3 or a best of 5, and we'll see them come out here. We're going to have FSC in the blue and Georgia College Southern and State will be in the orange. I'm looking to see, based upon what I have been looking at across all the Rocket League that I've been doing, we've got teams playing in a 2-1 or a 1-1-1 split, and they're kind of taking some of the European RLCS games coming through, especially with how good they were at the beginning.
Ooh.
But Alan Barton is Alan Barton and gets the initial score.
Oh, so simple and making it easy here. Very, very nice touch. And, it feels good. It feels good to get that dub on the board, right? And it's something, again, the fast breaks and the early picks. I always, we can talk about strategy and everything. At the end of the day, for me, it's always like who takes the opportunities, right? And, of course, what formation will give you that best opportunity? Fantastic early goal.
I mean, that is, I think that we got the teams backwards, perhaps. I think that may have been GCSU coming out the gate here. Alan Barton is, I do believe, playing for Georgia.
I was looking at that too. I was like,
unfortunately,
I was like, Texas Red, Zipper. I've seen that before.
So that's actually an early 2-goal lead here against the league pedigree. And I tell you what, Georgia College and Southern coming out with some fire in their eyes. And Alan Barton has scored 2 on the trot.
And again, this is just week number 3 for a lot of these teams. For FSC, they came into week 1 with a bye, I believe, into the season. So this is technically their second series of this league. So I'm sure there's a lot more for them to practice on. But of course, GCSU having a fantastic time here in game number 1. Looking like another here, but a good clear, very close clear, I should say, keeps the score 2-0.
Well, I mean, we're looking for some kind of a break here coming from the other side. That's a great goal line stand, but not cleared out of the danger. We're looking for a little bit of a joust here on the right hand or the left hand side. ESC clears their zone. Kind of a wonky touch coming out from the third man there for Florida. But they do get line pressure still coming in. They're looking for a tap off the back. Does not find it. Breaks going the other way.
It's so fast right now, and it's actually a battle in the midfield, which I really, really like. Making sure to not allow the opponents too close to your own goal and not allowing this forward aggression to continue, right? Once that happens, you start losing control of the boost. You start losing control of a lot of the pacing, and you really need to keep that under control. Right now, GCSU playing around in the front, and there it is, Texas Red. It was scary, and I said it. Texas Red came in with a zinger.
I tell you what, that was some patient play coming out from Florida Southern. They did give up 2 early on the trot. We're only a minute 55 in this, so I mean, plenty of time for Florida Southern and the Moccasins to get themselves back into this matchup. That I think that Georgia might have something to say about it as they look to control the midfield line. That's the big thing that I'm starting to see right now. Florida Southern is starting to look like they are starting to have that midfield on lockdown. They're starting to really boost, taking those megas away.
And that's a huge thing. So really keep eyes on the control, I should say, right? We are seeing FSC almost consistently above 50 or 60 on their main strikers and always on their back end as well. You can see Texas Red currently holding, and once we see Solage pick up their own, you'll start seeing everyone kind of dip down into those regions. So really, really nice control. And of course, you still have 2.5 minutes, right? 1 goal, 2.5 minutes is not the worst thing in the world, and easy to play around it. But of course, GCSU are like, nah, we ain't gonna let that stand. Let's keep on aggressing. But now we have to back off, get those boosts, and now defend our own goal.
What a shot! What a flip! What a lift there from Zipper.
Man.
Goes 1v2. 2. Are you kidding me? Look at this little dig, just a little mini musky flip right there. Gets it done. That's the tie. 12 letter in the first game.
Oh man, I'm talking, and all of a sudden they're just like, hey, can you be quiet over there, caster? Please be quiet. That's gonna be a chance off the rib. Zipper's like, please let me get this one. Let me go up 3-2. Not gonna happen though. So, for right now, 2-2 tie score. I like it. I'm enjoying this.
I mean, it's back and forth action, and really, FSC from a shaky start has really locked down that midfield. That's a dangerous ball, but the clear is going off to the left-hand side. And Red trying to go up along the wall, see if they can find a connection. No connection there. They do a little dump towards the corner mega, and that's actually a really providential touch there for Georgia. But Florida Southern, they are back in defense, and they'll push this one out. Alan Barton. Too early.
So this is gonna be a chance. Easy. Sitting around the side, trying to get it out and lock, and there it is. GCSU almost clear, but in the midfield again, Texas looking for a shot, can't find it. Again, just repositioning, if you will. So just currently out of boost, needs to get up, but Zipper goes in. Midfield, mid-air, can't find it. Another tap out, and GCSU might have a chance on goal here. Little tap up and above the defender. Zippy trying to throw in a little bit of discourse. And so far, just back and forth action. Minute left in this game. Ooh. So close.
That's a breakaway goal. That's going to be in. No time to flip from Allen. Takes control, but yet the rotation's coming through. They're looking for the mega in the corner. Texas Red out of boost, got beaten to it by a pixel, and now they're on the other way around. Goal line look. Forces out a save there from Georgia, or from Florida Southern, and now they're looking for the counterattack. Do they have anything in their bank here? Zipper looking very low. Tries to go for the flip reset, but gets dispossessed going out. They're looking for a touchdown. 15 seconds to just about left in this first period. Before we head to overtime, shot on goal.
Ooh.
The demo comes through, and that is a 1-goal lead. They have had a hat trick on the Trot Orbital, and Georgia College Southern is in trouble.
Oh man, that feels really, really bad for GCSU. They're a squad that are currently still looking for their first series win, and getting a start on this series, going up 1-0 would be great, but of course, after those 2 early goals, they have not been able to find anything else. Right now, taking a long shot in FSC from the skies, almost dumped a 4th in there, but can't find it right now. Gazy looking for an opportunity, trying to flip it around, can't dribble it in, and instead it is going to be timed out. FSC take game number 1.
Oh man, Fugazi there had the opportunity, and I mean, looking at our stats here, Alan Barton came out strong and was really one of the highlights here for Georgia, for GCSU, but Florida Southern comes back big time just by controlling the midfield, and they do take that 13 seconds lead and ride it out. I still think that Fugazi seriously could have gotten the goal there if they had just a little bit more boost, got a little bit more air under the ball. But as it stands, we've got a game here. We've definitely got a game going on, and we'll see how this is going to turn out, my friend.
I love it. And again, this is kind of the spice here. For these two teams, FSC are currently chasing kind of their old legacy. And I understand in collegiate esports, it tends to fluctuate quite heavily. There are some programs that have established themselves as dominant forces, but to create a legacy like we see in some other regions, like for instance, in League of Legends, T1 has a legacy, but we know how hard it is to maintain it. Right? It's so hard to maintain those levels because everyone, as you said, are slowly creeping up. For the likes of GCSU as well, yes, they are 0-2 in the current series. That does not mean they're gonna stop fighting for all their possessions. There's so many more weeks ahead of them. To come this close in game number 1 feels good. I want to see if they can recreate those opportunities that they got before, as well as create some solid teamwork plays along the way.
Well, we'll head into game number 2 and see if GCSU are able to put another 2 up on Florida Southern. I mean, was it early game jitters? Maybe not enough warm-up, or did they just have 2 really good scoring opportunities that they capitalized upon, and then Florida Southern decided to go even harder in game number 1. A little bit better start here from Florida Southern. GCSU, though, I think you're right. I think they are going to fight with all their might. I think they have to realize that they were being boost-starved extremely rough on them, so we'll see how we go. 30 seconds in, no score yet, but they are looking threatening once again. They're looking for the set in the front, but a nice touch there coming from Soj gets the damn it, or gets the danger away. I'm thinking about Overwatch still. I am. The Midwest qualifier yesterday was a lot of fun, and I mean, we'll see. You know, these two teams get their conference championship later on down in the year, but you know, Florida Southern, they're looking to really build upon what they did there in game number 1.
Yeah, and I like that you tossed it in there. I just wanna highlight the fact that there is so much on the line, right? Yes, you're in the Peach Belt. Yes, you want to show off in the regular leagues like that one. Alan Barton again coming in with a great goal at the tail end of the boost. I believe there was like nothing in the tank when they came flat. Yeah, look at that, barely anything left. Just at the edge, but these teams are not just playing for pride, they're looking at those playoff spots as well, at qualifiers, at tournaments, or anything of the sort. You want to get those dubs down, you want to kind of extend your reach and your playing field. You don't want to be kind of stuck in your local, you want to go ham.
I mean, you know, I think CRL has done such a good job of really building up the collegiate scene, and I think these teams, you know, think, you know, anybody has a chance, and it's true. I mean, RLCS has open qualifiers as well. CRL has their open qualifiers. So, you know, there's a chance for these collegiate teams to come from nowhere and make a name for themselves. I mean, there's 2 Quebecois teams that are playing right now in Laval and I think it was Val-d'Or that are playing from Quebec. And, I mean, you know, you don't expect to think about that. But you know what? Why not Florida Southern? Why not a Georgia College of Southern? Why not them?
Well, yeah, and that's the other part of it too, right? You're taking a look at FSC and they're like, yeah, why not us? Why not us? Why are you not talking about us? And they're like, listen, we'll keep going. And this is something that I have noticed about FSC. Yes, they get off to a slow start at points. It seems that they're not very aggressive. They are very opportunistic at points, and as it gets later and later into the series, they tend to go harder and harder, and I really, really enjoy that, seeing them almost like desperation come out in their gameplay. So we'll see if it happens here. Of course, they are up 1-0. If they go up 2-0,
oh my
great
God.
start, and that's a great shot from the corner. So just a little bit of a tap cross side.
I mean, watch this E-break here. Gets around and goes near post.
So good.
So good. That's 2 goals here in game number 2 for Soj. I mean, Texas Red is playing the game too. Has been more of a third man here for Florida Southern, really shoring up the back line. I think they've finally gotten their rotations nice and clean. Only giving up 1 goal here in game number 2, so they are 50% better, and they're looking for more here on the back of it. Texas Red throwing a goal bound. It's going to touch, but just off the side.
Oh man, you can see just the ability. And I also want to point out on game number 1, FSC I believe had 9 shots on goal, 7 alone from Zipper, and GCSU, for the amount of times that we did see the ball off the other side, they were not having that many shots. A lot of them were just kind of off the post. They were almost repositioning shots, right, trying to bounce back. But this is what happens, Soj. This is why FSC are some of the best out there. Look at this, just opportunities abound, whether it be a single player or teammates.
I mean, Soj has taken over the game. Everybody else is just a supporting character. I mean, that was a self-tap. It's off the wall, and then gets their own rebound and buries it in the back for the hat trick. Everybody throwing penguins on the floor. But we'll see. What does GCSU have in the bank? You can't give up just yet. You're only down by 2. You still have 2 minutes to get yourself back into the series. But right now, looks like the communication might have gone just a little bit awry. That's something that you can tell when sometimes the communication just isn't there. But that's actually a nice ball going out to Kit there on the end, but Florida Southern is there to recollect.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was trying to lead it out to the outside, but I do agree. There are points where you can see communication breakdown. You can also see nerves starting to get to the players. You can see them start dropping maybe passes or dribbles that they were hoping to make happen. And then the spacing, the opportunities start to arise. But I will also say, right now, FSC are looking more in their element, right? That's something that we cannot dispute or anything like that. They look much better than in game number 1. There it is, GCSU. Love tap in front of the goal to help that happen. Was that on their own? Yes, it was. Set up, little edge on the side, and then boop.
Yeah, I mean, what a touch from Kite there in the corner. Getting it done, really just cut off the angle there from the Florida Southern defender. And what a beautiful Karen pass, and then Fugazi unerring there in front of the goal. So Alan Barton with the ball. Alan Barton is Alan Barton and wants to get this equalizer going. 1:15 left on the clock, 75 seconds. They got the butt. Oh my God, what a cutout there coming from Florida Southern. That was damn sure a goal.
just so close, and they feel it on their lips. They want to go to OT. Right in front of the goal, though, is FSC, and they're saying we can do it too. Chase now right into midfield with less than a minute left. They're gonna try their hardest here, and of course, for FSC, they may or may not just try and play defense. Just keep it out of the hands of GCSU.
You know what, Daniel? I'm starting to see them fight for these mega boosts as well. They're trying to stop the starve, but Soj with number 4 may have just put this game out of reach based upon what we have seen so far. The fight there is for GCSU. That's an unlucky touch. I mean, that's one of those pinpoint touches that you just have to clap and say, GG, go next. But for GCSU, they're showing like the defibrillator has come out. They have a pulse. They're going to keep fighting, and I'm liking the fight back that we're seeing.
Oh, yeah. And remember, even if you go down 0-2, that ain't the end of the series, right? We've seen reverse sweeps. We know it can happen. It's not uncommon, to say the least, in collegiate. What is common, though, is a chance at goal. Zipper wanted to put another one on the board. Teammate is there to bounce it in off the corner post. Feels so bad. And now the chase is still back on. No boost in Texas. Have to get the ball over. Gazy is going to take it to mid.
I mean, Gazy there with the 360 e-brake to make sure that they got themselves a light line for the ball. But 4 seconds left here. Maybe a last-second goal here to carry you over into game number 3. It's going to touch down. It's going to be a 4-2 game 2 victory here for Florida Southern. GCSU, they're starting to. I think they're starting to get the signs of life going again. I'm feeling like there's at least one game here from these gamers here out of GCSU, but the Mocs right now. Soj had a hell of a game there with 4 goals. Look at the assists coming from Zipper, though. Zipper was the main goal scorer there in game number 1. And I tell you what, definitely had a lot more to do with it. Texas Red did end up having 3 shots. So, I mean, as we look at it, yeah, we'll take what we get. But, oh, man. I think that if that one crossing goal goes in, that was cut out by Texas Red off right, I mean, that beautiful centering pass, if that ball goes in the back of the net, I think we're looking at a different series here. I think we're still calling the game in overtime. But as it stands, we go to series point here for Florida Southern, GCSU fighting for week number 3 life.
They are just not stopping. And as we talk about GSCU, they are trying, right? GCSU, we see it. They are constantly fighting, and don't get me wrong, they are. Every single time we see them going for the ball, maybe not as many demos as I would like. I would like to see them get a little bit more physical in the game. But one of the issues that we're seeing is, again, FSC are just ramping up. I'm sorry. When you're going 40 miles an hour and you see the opponents slowly climb 20, 40, 60, 80, you have to pick up the pace as well. And, I mean, yes, that's a demo. That's great. Get a few more in there, hopefully, for GCSU's side and opening up the field, but that's a little bit of a roller. Tried to tap it in, but Zipper said, okay, that was a tester.
Yeah, I mean, that was totally limit testing right there, seeing what kind of nerve the defender had. That's a shot coming in. Oh, man, the contact was good. The follow-up shot is turned away. Once again, that was actually Soj there on the goal line that pushes that shot away. GCSU is a front runner right now, and they like this early aggression. I just wish they saved a little bit of that fire for the late to mid game.
You got to be able to maintain that level of concentration, that level of, I almost want to say physicality, and also keep your defense up. Soj finds a crack in the armor and taps it in the bottom right. Very well done.
What a touch from Kit there. Knew the contact was coming and just flicked the ball up over the incoming contact. And Soj was unerring, going near post like a worm burner. Gets the 1-0 lead here, 50 seconds off the clock. GCSU, this is the first time that they have not scored first here in our series.
And honestly, it feels bad, right? GCSU, they lived off those small opportune goals, and they were hoping to have one here as well. But of course, right now, you have to build it up. Zipper taking it around the right side of the field, bouncing it off the back, setting it up for the teammate. Soj, though, just gets it out of the way, gonna roll it up the wall as well. And now it feels a little bit more individualistic, which I like. FSC looking for just those single taps. Can't get it under control, though. Zipper, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, but that was all set up, and it was cerebral. That was a cerebral touch that came through, but a loose ball across the mouth of goal. No trash men ready to clean up the garbage in front. And, well, they dodged a bullet there. Florida Southern should have gone down 1-0 here, or gone up to a tied 1-1 score. But as it stands, We're going to see how they come out here and really start to take over this game once again. The midfield pressure starting to be ramped up from GCSU, Daniel, and I think that this is where they can really build upon some stuff, but a demo in front is horrible.
Oh, yeah, that was... I mean, come on. We give it to FSC. We're talking about the physicality. We're talking about the demos. Soj basically said, here you go. Let me hand you a goal on a silver platter. And Texas took it away. FSC currently 2-0 with 3 minutes.
I mean, Texas finally gets on the board, too, as far as a goal to their own name here in the series. It's been really the Zipper and Soj show. And, well, Alan Barton and Fugazi have really been the main offensive threats. Kai has actually been more of the setup person for GCSU. So more of that, please. And more demolitions. Really up the tempo here. See if you can take it up tempo against this Florida Southern team. Maybe that will net you something. Or Soj can just take it off of your fender and break that speed and just say, you know what, that's about all.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I will meet you in front of the goal and just rip it from your hands pretty much. That was by far one of the most in-your-face goals we've had thus far here in the series. And honestly, FSC, they're saying we are champions for a reason and we are looking forward. We will not sit on the lower end of the leaderboards. We are going to put our names up with the top brass, and we will continue a 3-0 statement, and more so possibly, considering what the games 1 and 2 were, this is a huge step back into a right direction.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is you said it yourself. This is going to be a signature win for their season. You know, they went down early in games number 1 and 2. Game number 3 has been all Florida Southern. It has been a 3-man masterclass here, and they're just looking to add on more. The touch is coming through. The shot goes in. Soj with a number 2 or number 3 here. I'm sorry. That is the hat trick here in game number 3. So now a double hat trick for the series. And I mean, that was all set up. You know they were communicating. I'm going high, I'm going high, I'm going to set it low. The waterfall pass comes right into the path of Soj and just buries it.
So beautiful. Just contact all the way through. And again, Soj just right off the rip going, it's mine. I'm going to take it full boost, ready to go. Rolls it, bounces right off the top rope, and just says, watch me trick this out. Beauty.
Ultimate disrespect. I thought the one off the fender was disrespect. Nah. That's the stuff it in your face. If you think of volleyball where the setters are jousting each other, that is where you lock eyes. It's like haiku. You push it right to their face, and then you stare them down.
It was, oh, don't, okay, I was about to say it. That's another, and we put 6 on the board considering we've had like a 3-2 and a 4-3. That was going to be wild, and I mean, it still could happen, but off the rip there, this is FSC really turning it on, getting into their comfort zone, and I'm loving it. Now, straight up midfield, and no real challenges, trying to go for it. Zipper said, hey, yo, and that's going to be the demo. Soj gets another on the board.
That's a blue-collar goal right there. I don't care what anybody says. That's a grinder goal. I thought Butler Bulldogs was my favorite blue-collar goal-scoring team. Nah. They worked for that one. They earned that one. You know, we've had some stylistic ones. We've had a posterizing session. That one was just a grinder, and I think that's the grind that gets the gear broken here. 1:15 left on the clock. It's a 6-goal deficit. I think we can be safe to say that this is pretty much done and dusted.
Yeah, and it feels bad, but at the same time, GCSU, they are still aiming for their first series win, and FSC are basically saying, hey, if we can't do well here, when are we going to step up, right? There are points in your season where you do have to make, as we said at the beginning, these statement wins, and this is one of them. So FSC, respect, putting it all down on the line, saying, hey, we're going to play hard, we're going to play well, and that's exactly what they did for GCSU. I mean, we're seeing the nerves rattle. Maybe they can try and bounce back, get a little bit ahead, and then just go for at least one here.
I mean, consolation goals are always good, are always balm for the soul. And I mean, they have to really take away that they have scored on one of the best teams in this conference year in, year out. I mean, they have really taken it to them and it made FSC play their best game. And I think that now that all the juices are flowing here for FSC, this might be the turnaround point here in the early in the season that gives us the FSC that we know can be in Zipper. Putting another one on the board. That's 2 now on the trot for Zipper and 3 assists to boot. What a heck of a performance here.
I'm loving the fact that FSC went from singular individual setups and opportunistic goals to straight up just teamwork plays, right? Like, it's very, very clear and concise teamwork plays, and that's what we want to see. So very, very well done there as well.
Yep, I mean, we got 4 seconds left on the clock. We're going to see the 0-second drill. We're going for one more, and are they going to get it? No, I don't think they are. I think they just take it to ground here. Well, maybe I say that. Still ball up in the air, still looking for goal number 8. Are they going to get it? No, they are not. It's finally going to go down 7-0 here in game number 3 for Florida Southern. They are your 3-0 victors here in week number 3 of the Peach Belt Conference. And I got to look at these scores right now. Yeah, look at that. Soj almost with 1,000. For Florida Southern. That is a hell of a performance. 5 goals. That's a total of 9 on the day for Soj. And I mean, not to be undone, Zipper also getting a lot done on the offensive side. I think the Texas Red, the setups that came from Texas was really fantastic coming from them. I think that all the jigsaw pieces finally got locked and pushed into place there for Florida Southern. Damn good performance coming out of them. Now, can they carry this forward through the rest of the season?
I think they can. Now, granted, one of the things that we did not get to see as much, and we only really saw from FSC, is GCSU did not try and punish with demos. They were a little bit lackluster in that part, and I know we touched on it a little bit. The action was just rolling, but now that we have time, I do want to state that demo is a heavy part of the game right now. As much as people, maybe for me, one of the OGs when Rocket League first came out, you hear all the talk. That was like years ago, right? This game has become a game of physicality, creating space, and that's the way you do it, right? You have to get used to it. If you're not comfortable with it, these teams that are running rush shot, that run fast-paced breaks, are going to take you out. You have to be willing to start reading some of the lines, trying to read some of the plays, and get in their way, disrupt their momentum.
Yeah, the other thing is that the game has gone a lot more vertical. And I think that's something that Florida Southern really did start to enhance and really put out there, is their willingness, not only for the air dribbling, getting the flip resets, but also taking the 50 aerial battles and really being able to control from the highest points of the stadium. So for Florida Southern, I mean, I think this is a great jumping block here for them to kind of move into that next stratosphere of competition. And, well, I mean, we're going to have a chance to see as much as we can of this Peach Belt Conference throughout the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I think we might even get a little bit of an interview with one of the members of FSC. And at the same time, I also want to put it out there. I do want to see how GCSU are going to play later on in the season. I am a personal fan of comeback stories because I love seeing the Cinderella runs. I don't care if you made it into playoffs at 8th place or whatever. That's the whole point, is you go for the Cinderella run, you made it in playoffs. I want to see later on in the season here with the Peach Belt, I want to see if GCSU can pull themselves out of this kind of rough start and see how far they go.
Yep, well, we're going to go ahead and throw it to a quick little break while we get our interview set up, and we will be back with you in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. We do have that interview for you from the winning team, Florida Southern. We've got Soj coming in here on the camera here in just a second. We're going to talk to him and see what his thoughts were about today. There we go. We got Soj here. Soj, how are you doing? How are you feeling after your 3-0 victory over Georgia?
Interesting start to Peach Belt, so I'm glad to bounce back in the way that we have. We got 2 sweeps in a row, which is very nice. So just feeling good, feeling really excited for the rest of the Peach Belt.
Of course, and I mean, I was there, I believe, in your your first series matchup, and I do remember it was a little bit of a rough start, and seeing you now, it seems like you guys have gotten your positional roles underneath you, to say the least. I mean, you're coming out here with a bomb of a game, by the way, 9 out of 14 goals here today, a crazy start. Did you think you were going to have that type of performance, or is that expected with how much practice you were putting in?
For this game, yes, we were very confident coming into this game. We were talking, or we scrim with USC Icon all the time. So when we saw their results against this team, and when we think about our results against Icon, we felt very confident that we were going to be able to take this game.
All right, that's awesome. And my second one, of course, comes down to the fact that it seemed to start a little bit slow as we dive into it. Game 1 came away with 2 early start goals, and then you guys seem to kind of shore up those mistakes. Would you say that is something that you are still working on in terms of, a little bit of a slow start, or is that just kind of one of those anomalies you're like, that won't happen again, and we're going to be like 100% solid through the rest of the season?
I mean, yeah, like as a team, there's always those moments where you kind of get caught off guard by the other team. So, that first game was definitely our adjusting phase. After that, I'm sure you could tell we got locked in and we weren't going to let that happen again.
All right. Well, my question to you is, talking about stylistic, the first 2 games was a little bit closer. The last one, 7-0. We could see the communication getting better from you all. So, if you had one goal to pick out of your 4 there in game number 3, which one was your favorite and why?
I'm pretty sure there was one where Texas Red ran across the net and just completely took everyone out of the play, and then I went and scored. I think that one's got to be my favorite. That's definitely our favorite thing to do as a team, and it's always fun when that pays off.
All right. Well, before we let you go here for the evening, do you have anybody that you'd like to thank or give a shout out to? The camera is yours.
Obviously, shout out to my team. We've been putting in a lot of work these last few weeks. We've just picked up Texas Red recently, so we've been on that grind. He's been on the grind. We've all been putting in the work to come out of this on top. I'm really confident going into Peach Belt. I'm really excited to get to playoffs, and I'm just shout out to my team. Shout out my parents that came out to support tonight. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Soj, thank you for joining us, my friend. Have a good evening. Good luck in your rest of your season. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was Soj from winners, Florida Southern. They take the 3-0 victory here in week number 3. And Orbital, we got a little bit of extra information there. Texas Red being a relatively new pickup to the team, and they're grinding together, and the results are really starting to show in the field.
Of course. I saw it. They went by so fast. They blew a little bit of dust on my camera, so I've been all blurry the entire time just trying to keep track of how fast they go, and they've done well, I think. Now, the question, of course, comes, they're mid up here, right? They're rising ever further. Can they keep this up? Can we see them reach even higher into that echelon there? Because, again, there's competition everywhere, and I'm very, very excited. Whenever I see these breakaways in, week 3 or week 4 situations, I want to see it continue. I'm always... like the Cinderella stories, I'm always excited to see the powerhouses continue to get stronger.
I think you're absolutely right. And then the fact that, they kind of called out USC Aiken. Short story there. I actually grew up. I actually lived in South Carolina, about 30 miles from Aiken. So kind of interested to see how they're doing 30 years or 40 years on. We'll see how this goes. But it's not all for Rocket League tonight, my friends. We have Hail Monkey Man and Septi coming in to replace us here in the casting booth. It's going to be the University of Montevallo going up against the aforementioned University of South Carolina Aiken in another Peach Belt Conference. We're going to head to a quick little break. We're going to get them changed over, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Peach Belt Conference Rocket League. I am your last-minute substitute, I possibly joined by Monkey Man. Monkey Man, are you? Oh no!
Yeah. You know, we did have something atomic in store, but we had to take care of that for you. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside my good friend Septilence, who can take credit for all of my handiwork, maybe under the table or otherwise, to get him in here in the first place. But glad to be able to have you back with us, Septilence, and you guys out there as well. Join us for more of this Peach Belt Conference Rocket League action.
Peach Belt Conference Rocket League action. We're going to be jumping into a game in just a couple of moments here. And Monkey Man, you were giving me a bit of the lowdown on the way in here, a bit of a fill-in on this information. And it turns out that both these teams are definitely looking to put some more numbers in the winners column. These teams have had a bit of a rough season so far, and hopefully that, actually, not hopefully, somebody has to win today. So luckily, one of these teams is going to get to boost that winners column just a bit.
Just a little bit. And they've been able to find a couple of wins, but the problem on either side is that their wins have come at the verdict of not playing teams or beating teams that have wins themselves. So this is going to be the first time that either of these teams, because someone does in fact have to come out with that W, is going to be taking it away from someone that had a win to begin with. You have Montevallo. They just actually lost to North Georgia, who's really found that big step in the right direction after taking it against both Columbus State and Lander in a game 5. Then USC Aiken, who has been able to pretty much put up the numbers that everyone's putting up on GCSU, and then suffered their first loss to Kennesaw and then bounced back against Lander. So this is also a big rivalry matchup because of the fact both these teams end up at the lesser half of the table last season, and they want to be able to bring it back.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to prove things, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe Aiken won the matchup last time when they went up against the University of Montevallo, and to go through and kind of to do that once again would be great. But to be UM, to come through and kind of break that curse, break that mold, so to speak, I think that would speak a lot louder than any words could, right? It goes to show we've put in the effort, we've found the growth and the progress we were looking for, and now we're coming into this year even stronger because we are very much in the earliest stages of the Peach Belt Conference right now. But if you want to prove yourself, there's no better way to do it than in the moment, to live up to those expectations and to take down a team that has historically taken you down before.
Yeah, this is one of those times where it's not quite the middle of the season. It's very early on, but they're starting to get that full rotation. You see some of these squads twice when it comes into conference play. So you have to be ready to see them a couple of times, dance with them, see if you're footloose, fancy-free, and maybe putting in the footwork to actually be the lead more than the follow. But the problem when it comes to that is right now everyone's starting to gel, starting to find that momentum, and it depends on which one of these teams is able to find it first. It's still best of 5. It's still a slow dance for the most part. It's not quite when you go to the playoffs where everyone is now taking it super serious and super sweating it out, but it's still a matter of who's ready a little bit earlier than the rest.
Yeah, no BO7s quite yet, but also no BO3s. This is arguably the perfect place to grow as a team, because when you're looking at a BO3, you find that game 1 can be a little bit slower, but it's still pivotal. It's still a critical game because one of the teams is one loss away from the series ending. But in a best of 5 scenario like this, that game 1 really can be used methodically and strategically to gain an advantage over your opponents, to get a read on their performance, and you don't hurt your win-loss nearly as bad. You know, you're only down by a game instead of down by 50% of the games to win. It's a big difference. So I hope that these best of 5s can help these teams out a little bit. I know just yesterday in a ECAC qualifier, we were looking at 2 teams that went all the way to their 5th and final game. It was a full reverse sweep, and the winning team there, I think, was able to win because they got to play all 5 games. The first couple of games were washes, they were shutouts, and it's like, sometimes you just got to be on the field long enough for your boots to really hit the ground running, and if you don't get that chance, a lot of teams get their wings clipped early. So I'm hoping that nobody gets their wings clipped too early tonight.
And hopefully no one has their power cut either. As long as I'm not nearby your university. Not yet. No way. It won't be car batteries and it won't be your Ethernet cable. It's just going to be all gameplay all the time. And these programs really have something that they want to be able to prove, is that they're not going to just exist on the lesser end of the table. Because when you're in the middle of the pack, you're all right. You get time to kind of suss yourself out. You don't really have a big target on your back, but you're also wanting to be taken seriously. Right now, both these teams are in the exact same kind of bucket and same zone. They don't want anyone to be able to forget forget about them. But this is also that perfect position. I like to think of it when I think of like college football or otherwise. Yeah, sometimes 1 and 2 losses and boom, there goes national championship. But for these guys, when it comes to being able to make these big plays, now you have time to really kind of get everyone in working order. There's not a lot of pressure on you, but that doesn't mean that the work isn't being made for that. Montevallo, they actually did take this one last time around. It was 3-1 over Aiken, and so they want to be able to do the same things here.
Yes.
It's look, sometimes history rewrites itself for us. Our brains only hold so much. I'm learning that as I get into my 30s and am deep into the 30s. But either way, these kids, they have a lot in front of them. Falcons, they want to be able to continue this winning run over the Pacers, but the Pacers would love to be able to slap back. And I know that you're a competitor over there, Septilence. Is there nothing just sweeter than a little bit of vengeance?
There is nothing sweeter than vengeance, Monkey Man. Let me tell you what, dude. If you are sitting in a scenario where this team has beaten you, battered you down time and time again, and you finally get to beat them, I mean, it is amazing. Not to pull Overwatch into this, but anyone that knows me knows that that's where I come from. And just recently, Boise State has been going on this absolute tear, just taking down, like, so many teams that have beaten them so many times before. And I know that team, they are on the high of vengeance in the competitive field because it is a wonderful place to be, and we know that USCA certainly wants to be there today. There's a better rhyme, but I couldn't figure it out in time, so that is what we're sticking with. And it's funny because we referenced we're not going to have any tech issues, but that doesn't mean the players might not. Montevallo seems like they're having a load-in issue, so you guys get to stare at our faces just a little bit longer. But while that happens, I think it does help us set the precedent of tech issues happening in the beginning is a lot better than them happening in the middle of the series. So hopefully they get into the lobby, they get to warm up a little bit, and now they've a little bit of stall action, so maybe they're going to feel even more prepared going into that first game.
You know, you always hope, and maybe even get a little bit of coaching into playing 2v3s. It's not exactly the mechanics that you want to be playing into, but it's kind of power plays, and that happens in this game on the regular whenever you get some of that demo and physicality game that Orbital was just talking about in our previous matchup, but also even when you have tech issues, because you continue to play on mid-match unless you have the just the blessedness that is an admin account to be able to get some of the pausing. But otherwise, yeah, it's good to be able to knock some of this out while you can. And shout out to all these programs that also have like those big computer rooms and big esports labs. Have you ever seen some of those? They get like their own stadiums. You were talking about Boise State. Theirs is huge.
Yeah, it is amazing. I've actually had the opportunity to travel to quite a few of them, and I mean, Boise State is probably one of the most impressive in terms of just looking at them. They are beautiful, and so many of these programs have these new spaces to grow, and I like that a lot, honestly, because I think, again, I played when I was in undergrad, when I was in college, and playing with a team in the same room, in the same space, is just inexplicably different than everybody on their computers at home, in their dorms, at their apartments. It just creates this new energy and this new excitement, and it is super omega cool. But I mean, it is sometimes things slip through the cracks. Critical files get deleted, computers start to slow down a little bit, and the team just has to take a little bit longer to join the lobby, but it is no big deal. Honestly, it's a Rocket League best of 5. We've got some time to burn probably anyway, so I mean, we might as well just set these expectations a bit more. But Monkey Man, I love talking about expectations. It's possibly my favorite thing to talk about as a caster, because going into this, we can throw so many statistics and so many numbers at the viewer, but in reality, those don't mean anything in the spur of the moment, especially with a game like Rocket League. When you look at games like Valorant or Overwatch, the actual skill diff is a very real thing. But Rocket League, it is the minute-by-minute difference where teams can be a brand new team within 60 seconds, and I love that.
It's very true. It's about the physics that really kind of pay out, because you can have a play that you've panned out. You've made the midfield pass. You've been able to really kind of pressure the corners, perimeter work, and then midfield work, and then you have individual mechanics that get practiced over and over and over again. But it comes down to actually setting it up, knocking it down, and getting it done. And ultimately, at the end of the day, because these two teams, they are currently both tied 2-1 in current, I guess it would be overall conference progression. But when it comes down to who they've beaten and what they've done, they put up the numbers. I mean, when you look at Montevallo, I mean, who hasn't put up this many against some of the winless teams we've seen out here? Went 20 points up, 3 points down, plus 17 on Columbus State just a couple of weeks ago. And then you have the likes of the same being done to GCSU by Aiken, 12-2. So when they put up the numbers and they really need to make that offense stand out, they've been able to do so. Now, when it's these closer games, you get these tight-knit sort of situations. We do see Aiken. They had the plus-up differential getting 12 goals to the 10 whenever they lost to Kennesaw in a Game 4. So some of these have those breakout moments, and that's, again, where you kind of look at Rocket League and you're like, all right, you could have a game where you win 7-0. That's super cool, but that's one game. It's a best-of-5 series, and that could be the very first game of the series. More often than not, Septilence, I see see games that just kick off from the very beginning of the series, but then the true team is ready to go. But we got USCA. That's going to be the Pacers in blue. And finally, your Falcons of Montevallo, they're in orange, and we're ready to go.
We are ripping, roaring, and ready to go. Finally jumping into this matchup as we are waiting for USCA and UM to get ready on this line drive. We've talked about game one kind of to completion. We've talked about the expectation of this first game, how often the teams will play at a slightly slower or perhaps more methodical pace to identify the play styles of their opponents. If there's a striker on a team like NK2, and that's going to be our green light to USCA, let's play a little bit of a demolition derby here. Let's try to take that main player out of the way. And unfortunately, a bounce off of backs is the setup there. So not a technical own goal, but perhaps an own assist?
A little bit of one. They hand it off to themselves and they make it just work. But that's also some part of the adaptability that is Rocket League. You saw the defender also hanging out on that sidewall, wanting to be able to get an easier read. But pressing in is the pace of the Falcons, trying to get a bit swifty with it if they can. And this is some of the challenges that we're expecting and needing out of the Pacers, that they want to be able to keep Montevallo on their heels. But look how quickly and swiftly Montevallo is establishing themselves offensively, and another one knocking at the door, but they're able to fend it off.
Able to fend things off and create a bit more space. Montevallo has ball in the corner. It's going to be a knock-up by Kuno, and nothing from it quite yet. Instead of slot tap down into center field. NK2 goes for a setup, stolen away by backs, looking for the vengeance off that pass through them earlier to find that first goal. And no dice for either team yet. Slow and steady toward the goal of USCA, and it's going to be blocked away. UM, no second point quite yet.
Oh boy, they're starting to really corral themselves though into the same corner. They do defensively rotate away, and Bax is able to at least get the tiniest bit of space. That 50-50 goes very favorably for Montevallo before it becomes a massive clear in the other direction. The Pacers, though they've not been able to find these follows and burning through all the reserves, setting themselves up in a great position. And Kuno with the cleanup. Look at how this one was set up in the first place.
Yeah, Kuno has a phenomenal setup here from NK2. Defender out of the way, but it's that second man that comes in so often. I say, plan A probably won't work in Rocket League, so having that plan B in the back line is a critical play, and one that works out really well as the safety net, and I say that in quotes, has been established. A now 2-point lead is going to be pretty favorable for UM in this moment, but is it going to go up to 3? It is. By golly, UM definitely looking good and starting to warm up quick in this first game. But Monkey Man, is there a deficit to overperforming in only game one of a best of 5?
I mean, game one, best of 5, even though it's not exactly your longest series of play in like BO7s, 9s, 11s, if you want to go back to crazy collegiate, it's still one of those where, all right, we're all trying to get used to really game pace. You've been waiting in the lobby, you've been trying to recover files, and you're just trying to be able to get here in the first place. That one, bit of a mistake. You wipe it off. You cut it clean. You tell the coach is telling everyone, hey, just get comfortable where you're sitting, because these are types of attacks that USCA can be able to mount up, and finally, you're able to get one on the board. That's going to be able to help them reset.
The reset is going to be big, but is it big enough? First point goes up, and it does find the value, Monkey Man. Something incredible that USCA needs. We're not even halfway into this first game, so now, once again, quotes, safety net has been established. Scoring one more isn't going to equal the game, but it's going to close that gap, and I'm wondering if Kuno is going to be the leading force for UM. So early on, I was keeping my eyes toward NK, who has been not silent, but hasn't been scoring as aggressively as I was anticipating, and I wonder if that goes to do with the expectation or with the playstyle changes of USCA, but instead, is it just UM starting to fall apart a little bit? They can't play that hyper-aggressive, full offense game they were looking for early on.
I'd say it's less them falling apart and more about the Pacers being able to put their pieces together. Finally becoming a whole machine and then getting some of these 1-2 connections. A big stop there just inside the pipeline. You had 2 defenders be at that far side post, and now with a runaway as UM already wants to play for the counterattack. And the Pacers, again, you see some of these well-developed passes, but they're a little bit too transitory, and you're seeing them in open space. Now looking for the midfield rush, and again, it's Montevallo that's able to keep all of the Pacers back, and let's go! They get a 4th.
It is a slow and steady wins the race kind of goal. Lego puts it towards an awkward tap off of USCA, but through that secondary defender, gets the goal wide open. 4th point on the board. 2 minutes remaining. 1 goal per 30 seconds right now would give USCA the 5-4 advantage, which isn't impossible, not even close to it, but I think we'll definitely need to see an uptick in offensive play from USCA if they want to walk away with game 1 today.
The pace, as well as just the swiftness to get these initial touches out in their open third, really has been playing to the advantage of the Falcons. Montevallo has been reading USCA like a book right now, and it's not been at a high level as they've been able to get the extra crayons and just color them straight into the lines. But Falcons looking pretty darn comfortable with 90 seconds to go. The follow-up there. And you were talking about NK2. They've done the mechanical work out in midfield space to really give their team some of this confidence to just kind of run up willy-nilly and make some of these more individual plays, not having to link up too often. But that's a giveaway in open space, but they've got a third man to dig it out.
Third man does not have the shovel fast enough, and now UM is going to be 4-1 still up on the board. They lose ball control as it hurdles towards the goal of their own, and nobody can get there fast enough. Surgical precision from USCA to find that second goal. And I love what we saw, the tap in off the corner. NK2 gets juked out a little bit. Wasn't sure if it was going to be a tap in from the corner or more toward that midfield, and slowed down, I mean, for a 1/10 of a second, but that 1/10 makes all the difference.
It really does. As soon as you hit the brakes in this game, you basically have done the wrong thing. It's kind of unfortunate because you want people to keep rotating as fast as possible. Basically a very good smoothie with all the flavors intact. Still 2-4 and still 2 to go for the Pacers to be able to catch up. NK2 just leaving it out now for a teammate to pick up as they go for a bump play to the backboard, but it's well recovered by Lax. Still, though, it's going to be the Falcons that begin to just kind of swoop in and steal each of these touches, making it very difficult to get anywhere out of their own defensive box. The defender committed up, and that shot, was just a bit too wide.
A bit too wide, and now Kuno wants to find a secondary goal. 2 defenders there to block it out, and no value found from it quite yet. Lego trying to play a little bit slow and still going to find a pass off into NK2 towards center field. It's a good tap up, but it's going to be the directional away that I'm looking at, and Kuno has the angle. The defense is there to catch it, and with only 10 seconds remaining, I'm pretty sure USCA will have to say goodbye to game number 1, but it's a lot closer than it started. We were looking at 3-0 at one point. We're going to be looking at 4-2, almost 5-2. A bit of a caster curse, falls just a bit short, and game 1 closes in favor of UM.
Kuno just a second away, just a degree away from that crossbar being a friend and not quite foe, so that they could be able to get 1 extra good to go, and that would have been an exclamation point for the game. But they did that early. They were able to get 4 goals spread between the entire squad. Nearly every single one of them assisted, save 1 that Lego was able to get. But otherwise, team is looking good. Look at the surplus of shots. They got 15 shots to just the 6 of Aiken, and that really paints a story here, Septilins.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, just the differential in shots, I think, goes back to a comment I made around the halfway mark of we're not really seeing a lot of offensive play from Aiken. It feels like they're kind of stuck in their own mind a little bit. They're not really willing to go deep into the back line of their opposing side, into the back third of their opponents, and they want to go for the more surgical goals. They're not a risk-taking team, and I feel like with the way we've been seeing Montevallo play against them, that's not going to be working. I'd like to see Aiken get a little riskier with it, maybe just more general demolitions, maybe just creation of a boost drought against their opponents. I want to see something a little more tactical, I guess. I feel like we're seeing... what I want to say sounds mean, and I'm not trying for it to sound mean. I feel like we're seeing very textbook Rocket League right now. And I want to see Aiken kind of break out of that a little bit.
Take some risks if you can afford them.
Oh, boy.
maybe find them from the kickoff, but sometimes high risk means low reward if you don't come away with it. It was the 2v2 that they inevitably lost, and within the first 3 seconds, Falcons find Patered. But I don't disagree with you. I think that they're really planning out, being methodical about what passing plays that they have. They've just not been able to get them beyond a defender ready to read it.
Yeah, so the other day, actually yesterday, during the CECC Midwest Online Qualifier, I was talking about how Rocket League is probably the fastest evolving esport right now, because each year we see it, the worst player of year 1 is as good as the best player of year 0. And each year we see that exponential growth, and these teams continue to get better and better. And I think that's why we see some of these teams start to fall short, because they're still playing by the textbook. And at this point, that textbook is fully out of date. That textbook needs updated, it needs taken away, and it needs fully rewritten, because Rocket League is not even close to the game it once was when the seniors of this year started playing 4 years ago. And I think we do see that sometime with these teams.
I feel like it's every professor that I've ever taken a class for. No, hey, new version's out. I rewrote it.
Hey,
Cool.
new version's out. I wrote it, and you all need to pay $200 for it. But
Can't afford that. No, not in this economy. Not in any economy. Look, those were $400 chemistry books, and I don't want to go back to hardcover ever again. Trying for the slowdown play, though. Looking for a big bump, as it will take 2. Lego is going to hand it off over to NK2. And just like you were talking about, you're getting the Zens of the next generation, and Zen is already becoming a memory of what happened at World Championships, and now you're getting all these players able to develop at this collegiate scene level, still trying to be able to find where are the coaches really revitalizing something new in their playbook.
Yeah, we need to see that revitalization because there is, of course, going to be a ceiling to Rocket League, right? But I don't think we're anywhere near it. There's only so many fundamentals in the game, but it feels like new ones are being discovered week after week, and these teams, these players have to keep up with it. I want to see Aiken maybe go for that study factor a little bit more, lean into this new play style and this new aggression, because right now, I mean, we're looking at a hard defense, and NK2, with the help of Kuno, has really been just poking hole after hole in it.
And what we see is when you have a high-scoring game 1, often game 2 is either going to keep with that rush, that sort of that pace, or it's simply going to become a defensive wall. And right now, USCA, they've been able to have the benefit of a lot more possession and an extra extension on that, but then you have Lax coming off, and then the big bump will secure it. NK2 doing some great off-ball play, and Kuno has a free net.
Kuno with a free net to find the second goal online for Montevallo in this second game. Now, this is only a 1st to 3, so if Montevallo wins this one, Aiken will have their backs against the wall going into the third game, but with more than half of the game left, I'm not ready to count Aiken out quite yet. The team is going to be moving forward. They've got a little bit of value to work with, and as I say it, it's actually just fully ripped out from underneath them. The Demolition steals that ball control and gives Montevallo another opening toward that center field. Otter sets it up, a name we haven't said very much. They've just been playing consistently. And when someone plays consistently, there's really not much to be said about them. Not necessarily a bad thing, but something to keep an eye on. And Otter tried to be the hero, got stolen away. Diversity sets it up towards center field once again, but all 3, a triple commit on the ball there, Monkey Man. Had that gone wrong, that was a free goal for Montevallo. I mean, I wanted to see risks, and I guess that's a way to do it.
They're trying. They're trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink, what they're creating in the moment, but just like you were talking about, sometimes when a player is doing the job right, they don't often come up on the scoreboard, and don't get to highlight them too often, but they become that workhorse that your team needs. Now as they pressure into the corner, Otter, again, getting bumped, getting pressured from behind. It's the Pacers that are finding one man loose by the Falcons as they continue to bear down upon them. A great pickup play becomes a 2-on-1, a man on the island, the same in the opposite direction as they try to cut off the play. But just at the top of the box, it becomes counterplay after counterplay between these two squads. A much lower scoring affair, but we have a much lower set of seconds on the timer with just 90 to go. A free net again. You can't commit defensive blunders like that as a third will go up for the Falcons.
If you miss the commit, it'll go to bad places, Monkey Man. It is not going to be the opening that you're looking for. The defense falls lackluster. The goal goes wide open, and now with 85 seconds left on the clock, we're seeing a 3-0 lead. Now this is tied for the largest lead we've seen so far today because we saw a 3-0 back in game 1, but eventually we saw the score come online for Aiken. I'm not sure we're going to be seeing that here in this second game as Montevallo, as the seconds have gone by, they've begun to appear more and more confident. Their plays seemingly more and more powerful and calculated, and a calculated team is the most terrifying thing you can find in a game like Rocket League.
It's just basically a bunch of evildoers, and they all are Mega Mind. NK2 will make it a fourth, and so now they're extending that lead one bit by bit. And let's reflect here, Septilence, to the beginning of this game, because this was a 1-0 for a very long time until it began to bend and break against the defense, because it was Aiken that was actually posturing up for a lot of forward field plays. From that midline onward, they were actually getting a surplus of touches and then leaving these single-man defenses for Aiken to have to respond to, and you have one here, so Otter's able to at least get a spark, but they need more than that for a fire.
Yeah, Otter's got the spark, but unfortunately they've got to get the fire to burn the rope and flip the flag up to be the one not voted out here today. An incredibly specific reference that I feel very few people are going to understand, but hey, I said it. And just like UM with every goal they've made, I'm committing. So now 4-1 on the board. And speaking of committing to a goal, Kuno immediately off the kick, insult to injury. Aiken, for a fraction of a moment, thinks that they're getting some momentum. And Kuno says, no. Immediately snatches it back. Talk about making a statement.
not going to be making the Survivor Council by any stretch of
Absolutely
the imagination. No, they're gonna be looked at and say, "Did you even play the game?" 5 up now for Montevallo Falcons, as this defense really just has fallen to sleep. Now we're seeing these interconnections. We're seeing these tiny bits of imagination that really are hitting, and then they finally take advantage of them. But this is also some of that garbage time Rocket League where anything goes, and the Falcons say, all right, cool, we're gonna be able to just see that one come back to us later.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's going to be that moment in which the Falcons are not, like you mentioned, particularly concerned about what's coming out of that goal. There's 37 seconds left. We're looking at 1 goal per 12 seconds right now from Aiken just to tie things up. That's just to force OT. And as it looks like UM is getting ready to move forward with that goal, maybe a 6th one online. It falls a little short, but the space is made all the same. At this point, we're not looking at Montevallo needing to score. We're seeing Montevallo needing to stall for 20 seconds. I mean, that is unbelievably easy in this game, and the space being made continuously in their favor is just going to pretty much seal the deal here for the second game.
Sealing it up. 20 seconds, me and a 2v2 partner, you know that's never safe. But this is threes, and they've got an extra defender and looking just fine. That'll be your Falcons. They're going to go up to match point just ahead of game number 3, trying to do one better than they did last time around when they played the Pacers. They took them 3-1 in the previous season. This time around, it looks like they are going to be doing even swifter, but that's why we have a best of 5 here, Septilence. It's because they got to be able to go into that third match.
Yep, no prisoners here today, but it is not a BO3, it is a BO5 on the board, and it's so fascinating how lax diversity has really begun to show up a little bit for the side of Aiken. We're seeing this attempted striker able to put 1 goal down on the board, only 1 of 2 found in that moment for Aiken. And Montevallo, all 3 of them still have a higher score than Lax, the highest scoring player on the side of Aiken. So I think it's unfortunately a story of one person just can't do enough right now.
Yeah, and it's also a matter of we get to see Aiken not come away with profits when they had opportunities. They were upfield. They were able to keep in lockstep. It was 1-0 for the longest time. I don't think anyone really recognizes that it was like that for about 2.5 minutes. Half the game, they were able to keep just on the heels of the Falcons, but that's just on the Talon before they absolutely started flying away. So got to see the Pacers. I want to see them score first. If they're going to be able to really start taking this control into this next game, they need to be able to keep Montevallo, first off, from scoring a whole lot. Second, I want to see them get on the board way ahead.
Yeah, I would love to see them make that space early on, be able to find that advantage state moving into this third and final game, because I'm actually positive we haven't seen them in a lead position at all. We have seen them continuously caught down in the back line. The Pacers have kept it close, but close only counts in horse-handed shoot grenades, and none of that is here in Rocket League. So right now they need to make a statement. They need to go beyond the expectations and put a point down. Even 1 point for morale alone, I think, Monkey Man, could be huge for this team.
Really is. And you were talking about the need for risk. Otter jumped from all the way on that back half just to be able to challenge the early ball there. And that's something that I like, that kind of risk, because you're really taking away the counterplay that Montevallo just loves to thrive with. Dunk opportunity will be stolen by Old Ironsides, as that will ring the pipes, but the Hexagons now claim the ball, as you have a nice carry by Kuno, who has been able to pick up a ton of extra shots as well as points for this squad. But you have this wing approach to these rotations that USCA is just kind of flatlining most of their carries upfield, but they have possession for right now. Got to keep this pressure going.
Yeah, this is the pressure of the story, and I like what we're seeing from Aiken, Monkey Man. I really do, but I want to see risks like they never want to see Monopoly again. I want to see them taking risks like they want to get banned from the board game store, because it is just this consistent play of almost enough. What a great example. Almost enough, but it feels like they're just pulling back at the wrong moments. They're pulling in just a little bit too slow, and it causes critical blunders like that. They go full triple commit toward enemy goal. They get nervous, pause for a fraction of a second, and jump back all the way to game 1. You make a fraction pause, you've made a mistake. And those mistakes are continuing to add up against Aiken.
So many of the shots that we get to see from Aiken, they have the best idea, and they're nearly 100% with being able to execute it, but it's just developing at a so slow of a tempo compared to what Montevallo is doing. You had the dunk attempt, they were just a degree off, and then the third man decides they want to go full tilt, they want to commit. And now, same thing, Montevallo is very confident about corralling themselves all the way to this back corner. Now a handoff, again, Kuno ready for the shot. You have to send the whole house just to be able to stop him from getting in the front door. Now the breakaway could be a foot race. Otter will bring it to the wall.
foot race here as these opponents are going to be getting ready to go toe-to-toe. up 1-0, 2-0 here on the series, and USC, they are aching for a win, even a goal on the board, because they have not been able to find that space. A constant battle against a team that does not let them control this momentum. A hard clear down center field, caught out by Diversity, who has been a very consistent and performative showman for this team, trying to fill every available role. That role just cannot be filled by one person and one person alone. Half of this third and possibly final game has already come to a close. Can Aiken find that even the first goal on the board?
More than a half a game at this point, and the Pacers been able to limit the damage to just one. Got to get this passing play. Unfortunately, no one is able to catch up to it. They've left that door wide open a few too many times, trying to just keep that one out of dangerous waters, and it's going to be up to Bax, who does dig it out not once, but twice. Again, another chance, but it's going to be the recovery path on the third man that comes in clutch for the Falcons to keep this one. Now, we've not seen them tie it up past 0-0s in any of these games. This is the closest they've ever been, Septilence, but they have to be able to go downfield. They've got to strike soon.
They've got to strike, because if that clock hits midnight and you have not made it home yet, well, you're going to get turned into the pumpkin at the end of the day. And I guess, nobody wants to be a pumpkin. I don't know what that metaphor was, but I said it, so now it's canon. Anyway, 1-0 up still. Only 100 seconds left. A minute 40 remaining, and USCA has been mighty close. Never close enough to break that curse, to put a point on the board. And now they don't make anything happen in these next 90 seconds, Monkey Man. They are going to go home mighty disappointed.
They don't want to end up in the middle of the pack. They want to be at the top of it, and they at least want to be able to say they found a little bit of revenge. Third man keeping it in play, and that one will just float through just when they had the tiniest degree of satisfaction. Maybe the breakaway. You see both Otter and Bax commit on the breakouts, but it will be punished as Lego was able to double up this lead.
A huge punish. And while it is possible for USCA to score 2 times in 85 seconds, or 75 seconds, excuse me, we haven't seen that yet. So I'm not exactly counting on it. We haven't seen this team be able to find those openings and be able to find the goals that they needed. And while they find it off the side of goal, unfortunately, you gotta hit the middle section for it to really matter. A clear out from Diversity toward their own goal actually gets a great corner pitch setup. Kuno goes for it, but a strong defense from Aiken disrupts the attempt. Brought up by NK2, bounced away past one defender, now 2, but Diversity will be able to catch it and keeps the ball rolling. 45 seconds left here, Monkey Man. We are running out of time.
That timer is just getting so loud. Tick-tock goes the clock, 40 seconds. They need to prove that they can get 2 in the likes of which they've not even found in the last 4 minutes. But they have a chance. Pacers are going to bring it to that back wall. You have 2 defenders there. A nice undercut is going to give it some airtime, but that's a shot will be very high. Defender has to stretch out for it. They're going to use all their boost. Another strike is going to go to the opposite side post, but not before it's picked up by Lego, who's really been a Swiss Army knife of offense and defense. Got to score with time remaining. That's pretty much all that's left in the availability for this Pacers squad, but they've not been able to score at all.
No score on the board, unfortunately, and I think they are going to go silently into the rest of tonight with a 3-0 loss against them. comes out strong, and Montevallo has a victory at hand. There it is confirmed. Montevallo going to be winning 3-0 over USCA. As you mentioned earlier, Monkey Man, it was a 3-1 victory last time they went head-to-head. We talked about how one of these teams are certainly coming in to prove that they've put in the work and they've put in the effort and time to show that they can be a valuable team, and I think what better way to do that than to re-beat the same opponent with an even better score on the board.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have a change of players, a change of roster, but really just being able to keep this rivalry going, and you're the benefactor of a big W and a big win. So Montevallo, they keep that streak alive, at least against Aiken, and they're able to bounce back because they did just lose to North Georgia. So it's good to see the resiliency for the individual players as well as the entirety of the squad to be able to bounce back. So that will drop the Pacers down to 2-2, improving as Montevallo over to 3-1. And at this point, it's still the middle of the season. You still got plenty of time. I think that these teams play around 9 to 10 games, so there's a lot of time, but you have to be able to go into that coaching room, that war room, and really decipher what you got to do better next time.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And before we jump into what may be the next time, we are going to go ahead and throw it to a break, as we're going to try to get an interview with somebody from Montevallo to hear a little bit about maybe what work they did put in to find an even more successful victory. Either way, we'll see you right back here in just a few minutes. hello, everybody, and welcome back to Peach Belt Conference Rocket League once again. And yes, I know what you're thinking. I am the man known as Hail Monkey Man's biggest fan, aka Septilence, joined by none other than Hail Monkey Man, as we are going to get a bit of an interview here with our friend Lego. If you guys were watching anything what we just saw from Montevallo, this is a name you are very familiar with. And Lego, my first question, man, is just a simple one. It's like a pseudo question. You guys came into this last season going up against this same team. You were able to win in a 3-1 fashion, but this time you guys come out, you make a very strong statement. You go a full 3-0 sweep across the board. Do you think there were any fundamental changes you made as a team or program? Do you think it was just a bit of a fluke to lose that game last time? What was the difference today to go for the clean sweep?
So last season, we competed with a walk-on. So it was like 2 guys on scholarship, and then we had a walk-on player, Tuta. He was our 3rd man, and that's who we played with. But this season, coming into the season, we actually went out and did some recruiting, and we have our 3rd player, MK2. He's in his freshman year, and so he's kind of put the team together. And so now we're like one solid cohesive unit, and that's why that's the main change that we've made, apart from like training all summer, putting a lot into like mentals, and just like fundamentally working on our game.
Wow, that's amazing. That's fantastic to hear. And of course, we got to see a little bit of what you guys are doing as academics. You got mathematics, you got computer science, and data analytics. That's a lot of tech time that you guys are getting out there. What does your program do anything specific to make sure that you guys are balancing everything when it comes to competing, as well as getting all the work done in the classroom? Any big fun things, even if it's just to be able to go out and do study groups together?
Mm-hmm. That's actually a big thing that Montevallo values. We value like education like first, and then we start valuing like our actual athletic teams. So like for our team, for example, I think we're all STEM majors, like you mentioned before, with all that stuff. And we study together as a team sometimes, but since we're different majors, I have my own study groups that I go and study with mathematics. And Nate and Dalen, my 2 teammates, they have their own study groups. They don't want to get in there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no. So like we value our academics very high. I know there's like a big thing with esports where it's like a lot of teams won't. But they'll do like online classes, and they'll do like easy classes just so that they can fully focus on esports. But I mean, there's going to be a job like after their like esports career, so that's where a lot of our time's been going, and that's where we're investing a lot of our resources into. Apart from being athletics, it's student athletes.
That's fantastic. So. Yeah, I mean, you're student athletes. Student comes first before that. And hey, they say C's get degrees, but A's get babes. But you guys out there, you did finish on the second half, the lower half of the table last season around. This time, what's your big goal? What's the focus? Where is this team going to be going?
We got a lot of goals, actually. I don't want to sound too cocky, but the first goal is to try to do the entire season undefeated and get a golden season. And then apart from that, the main goal is last year our goal was to make it to Saturday for the Peach Belt Conference Finals. We fell short of that last season, and we got swept out of the tournament, but that's a different story. But this year, we want to try making Saturday, and bare minimum, that's like our bottom line, what we're doing. And then what we're actually striving for is we win Peach Belt Conference Championships this year.
Let's get it.
Yeah, that is beautiful. You love to hear it. And Lego, before we let you go, I just wanted to give you the chance, the opportunity. If there's anybody you wanted to give a shout out to or a thank you to just while you're here in the interview with us.
Nate would like to shout out his parents. He told me this before. I don't know if he wants to get in the picture, but come in here, Nate. Yeah, say hi to mom and dad.
Let's go!
But so he wants to shout out his parents. Personally, I want to shout out my family as well. They've been supporting me like every live stream that we do, every like step of the way. They're there. They're like supporting my mentals and stuff like that, because that's a big thing with esports. So it's like, if I have that good background, I can establish off of it. And then I'd like to also thank my girlfriend. She's like attended all the games, and this is where this actually comes from. This little bow tie thing.
So that's so cute.
That's where all the power
you love
comes
it.
from. Only reason we're undefeated. And I'd also like to thank my coach Ethan. Ethan is big. I'm sorry you got put last, Ethan. Get in here, Ethan. This is his first like 2 weeks of being our head coach.
Wow.
So he literally got here like late August, and we've had to run with him ever since. And so he's put us on his back, and we put him on our back. So it goes back and forth.
Wow, great. Amazing. Well, hey, Lego, I love the motivation you have. I love the energy you have, and I truly, you have won the hearts. I think both of us here, we're very excited to see how the rest of this conference turns out for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And before we go ahead and throw it to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Monkey Man, this entire broadcast has continuously told me, Semblance, there's something I want to show you. I want to tell you something, but I'm going to do it at the very end. So now you're out of excuses. We're at the end. I need to know what's going on.
Look, okay, I'm a big advocate of spooky season, okay?
Oh,
me
too.
And I know that you're a big advocate of Pokemon. And, I've got Pokemon trick or trade cards, so we're gonna do a live opening. You get 3 cards. All right, let's pop this bad boy open.
I'm so excited. If it's not super obvious that I'm a huge fan of Pokemon for people watching, that is a solid gold Pikachu card. That is a solid gold Charizard card. That is a Pokeball. I've got maybe 10,000 Pokemon cards literally at my feet. Hold on, this is like one of the binders on the ground. This is just within grabbing distance. I love Pokemon, so I am very excited to see if we get anything spectacular.
All right, so here's your topper. So we got a Ghastly. So this is all ghost themed, by the way.
Yes,
so this
all
entire
spooky
thing.
Pokemon.
Yeah. And you get 3. Then you got Lampent.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Lampent. What a cutie.
And then here's your holo. This is
something big as a Gengar?
Trevenant, which actually looks crazy because it's
sick.
green, so it's so hard to see.
It's like it looks like a shiny variant. It looks very cool.
Hold on, we're gonna make sure we do the filter real quick. We unchroma key. Look, behind the scenes. There's
checking up behind
there you
the
go.
scenes.
Yeah.
Monkey Man, thank you so much just from me
No problem.
personally. But I feel like our viewers enjoyed that as well. I hope so. But everybody, hey, Rocket League is over, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is coming up next. We've got Kilomiles and Soy on the mic, 2 incredibly talented friends of ours. So I know they are going to knock it out of the park. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for enjoying Rocket League, and hopefully you enjoy Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Check posture, drink water, love each other, and enjoy the next game. We'll see you later.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ECAC East Elite Series. Fall 2023 is underway here in week number 1. My name is Soy. Alongside me is Kilo Miles. And Kilo Miles, it's good to be back.
It's really good to be back, especially with so many new players coming in here. It's LIU versus SUNY Canton to open up this league. And first of all, this is my first time seeing LIU since way back in like 2019. Already excited about that. But SUNY Canton saw a bit last year, and they've got a whole brand new team of players I'm excited to show off.
It's going to be an exciting matchup for sure. SUNY Canton, you mentioned that this is a squad that certainly showed a lot of potential last year. I believe they won at least one playoff series entering the spring split, and Top Dog was one of the main reasons why. He's one of the few returning players of this roster, and he is certainly a player to watch out for in this week 1 matchup.
Yeah, Top Dog, I talked to him a little bit before the match, and he told me this is every single other player's first ECAC match, but they are no slouches when it comes to non-ECAC matches. They've been playing a whole bunch, and I'm excited to see how they debut in this league. Meanwhile, LIU, they talked to me a bit before as well. Gave me a lot of fun facts, vouching for Tetris in ECAC. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it a lot. Show off that fast reaction, fast decision-making that you need. But listen, if you want to sell us on the Tetris League, you got to show us your decision-making here in this match.
And it's going to be a fun match for these guys, too. LIU is one of these teams that also has been, always competing with the top, but hasn't quite crested that hill quite yet. But they've gotten close a couple times, a couple playoff wins under their belt. And this is one of those matchups that, to me, I looked at the schedules for these two schools. They have a lot of teams in common in their schedules. And I feel like this is the one that you circle on the calendar and go, if we win this one, we've got a really good chance of setting ourselves up for success when the playoffs come around. So a big matchup for these two right off the bat. And LIU, I don't think they've got a ton of returning players. It's mostly a newer squad, but it's going to be exciting to see what they bring to the table.
Yes, it is. We don't quite know who's opening up for us, but I mean, you see it a lot in these crew battles, but there's going to be a lot of curveballs coming out here. A lot of character specialists of characters we may not have full matchup knowledge on, and that's going to be one of the main things that I'm looking to see SUNY Canton demonstrate their ability to handle. ECAC week after week, you're not going to your local, you're not playing the same players over and over and over again, you're meeting new players every single week. So you need to show you have the full roster knowledge necessary to accommodate all of those picks out of the blue. And so that's what I'm looking for SUNY Canton to prove here.
And that kind of game plan can, really help for week 1, right? Knowing who you are as a player and what you do really well, what you match into, or what style you like to play against. That can be really helpful early on in the year in terms of kind of giving yourself an identity and moving forward with that in a week 1 matchup could mean a lot for both of these teams. That experience also a big question mark as we get ready for this matchup. Curious to see who we'll end up seeing, because there's a lot of players here at this point in the game. A lot of players have that one, main that they truly trust, but for a team like SUNY Canton, you've also got a lot of players who like to shift around depending on the matchup. A couple of, this is our guy, but also have a pocket pick here or there.
100%. I feel like Top Dog, we've seen Top Dog a bunch, so I can talk about how he is the anchor here, and very consistent anchor at that. Coming in on the link, he has been doing well in his local tournaments. I believe in the local that SUNY Canton helps out at, he's gotten first, I think, yesterday. And also just in general has been a consistent top placer. Showing consistency is key right here. That's the number one thing you need to see from someone who's looking to lead this new team to success. And Link, he has been harped on for having a very simple game plan, but that just means you can use those very game-altering tools like the neutral air, like the projectiles, to build your foundation very strong. You see that a lot in lower tier characters, like a Little Mac, which we may see. Like when you only have 5 or 6 good buttons, you learn how to use those buttons really well. What's the whole thing? Practice 1,000 kicks or 1,000 kicks one time? I don't know. I never was much of a reader, but I do know that that's how I feel about those kind of characters.
Yeah, no, in those types of matchups, right? It's kind of like what your character does well, and situationally you realize what that move can do for you in certain situations, and Top Dog can certainly bring that to the table with the Link. Also, while in theory, yes, the game plan is straightforward, I always thought of Link as that type of character that almost like a Luigi in Melee, where they can just kind of pull off some strange shenanigans at times with the bomb creativity, the placements, being able to angle the boomerang and such. So you do have to worry about those small little mix-ups, the wrinkles to the game plan, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. LAU will have to cross that bridge when they get there. They're currently working on their roster at the moment. You look at their schedule moving forward, they've got Dallas Baptist after this week. They go up against University of Delaware, who has been on a tear recently. Indiana Tech, which I believe is a newer school to the ECAC. Sacred Heart. They don't really get one of these championship caliber teams until later in the season. They get Fisher East in week 7, so that's going to be a massive test for them. On the flip side, you look at SUNY Canton's schedule. They get Farmingdale State Rams, Wake Forest, a real big wild card, and then they get University Albany A, who is one of these battle-tested teams that continually has done better and better in the postseason. That's going to be an exciting matchup for when that rolls around. That's in week 4. So big game right off the bat here, and both teams want to get ready into the action for this one momentarily as they're working out the picks and bans as we speak.
And I have been told we all do now have audio, so thank you for joining us for the first week of ECAC. So it's going to be a fantastic show. LIU versus SUNY Canton, a roster full of new players coming up against another roster with a lot to prove. We'll see who comes out on top, who gets that snowball started, who starts building that momentum in just a little bit. Pump the brakes. They're checking for lag while we're lagging behind just a tiny bit to continue to get ready for this. And there's one little thing you brought up earlier that I did want to talk about. The Link, the counterpick, like you said, there are all sorts of shenanigans, but Link has a super strong game plan. Those X factors, though, those high-level techs that Link can pull out, you only need to demonstrate that you can do them once. Because if you do, then they have to respect that option for the rest of the game. So if Top Dog comes out here and shows he is the top dog, all of a sudden the approach to dealing with him is going to be vastly different from LIU.
Yeah, I agree. Once you do it once, you've already proven you can do it, and now that wrinkle is just lingering in the back of every player's mind. And a reminder, too, this is classic crew battle, traditional crew battle format where it is wave survival. You are in as long as you've got stocks remaining, and Top Dog, he's one of these players that we've seen pull off these massive streaks before, and if he gets the edge on a player, making a comeback against Link, it's doable, but Top Dog does not make it easy at all with those projectiles, playing a little bit more back, using that advantage, to his advantage. He is certainly capable of doing that, and we'll have to see if he is the lead or not. They've got a couple different players here, Mono in the lineup, as well as, I believe, Sir Wobbles, Lord Cat number 2, couple of these fresher faces that are looking to get their first start. Also a reminder, I believe this is a best of 3, crew battle, 1st to 2. So you'll have that opportunity after the first crew battle to make some lineup adjustments, but only 3 players per crew battle. So these rosters of 4 or 5, you only get to see 3 of them.
Yeah, and so you're going to have to be very careful. I mean, Top Dog is a surefire pick for SUNY Canton. We know they're going to be leading the charge, but who are you going to rely on? You talked about how Link is hard to come back on, and I 100% agree. Link is not someone you just sweep through. He has ways to grind the game to a halt and then blow you up when you try to run through the minefield. However, he also doesn't really blow you up if you're not making those mistakes. And so you have a character who can act as sort of a wall, sticking your finger in the leak in the dam. However, you're going to need to see some explosive potential somewhere else in this team. Someone else has to come up, maybe multiple someones, to be that rising star if SUNY Canton wants to be a true championship threat. Meanwhile, LIU, again, haven't really gotten to see a lot of them. They have a lot to prove. They haven't really been in the spotlight all that much. And from what I saw just perusing, they look good. but looking good and playing good on the first week are two very different things. I'm excited to see how that goes. I'm seeing good lucks in the chat, and I think in just a few scarce moments, Soy, we're going to be getting into it.
It's an exciting time for both of these schools to get ready into their brand new split, brand new season. Always interesting to see what gets brought to the table here. Exciting to see what LIU, like you mentioned, a kind of newer squad this year, a lot of unknown factors. And when you look at the kind of cast of characters that they've got in their pocket, there's a lot of interesting matchups that they could play into and potential counter picks working against SUNY Canton here if they get the matchups that they want. So a lot of thinking between sets here, but we are getting ready for the first match of the night. Long Island, SUNY Canton, and we are underway on Battlefield.
Yes, we are, and this is a matchup that is not unfamiliar to anyone who's seen the top level of Ultimate. This is going to be a little bit dicey. We see two all-rounder characters who have a spectacular neutral game. However, it's going to be ZDAG consistently getting back to center stage and immediately punish. They've won that stage control, but if you're getting punished every single time, is it really worth it? Goes back to Mithra just to eat the up air, and that is Ninja Nick with a stock lead going into this. A strong one at that, Soy.
So quick, only 7% taken. This Squirtle is putting in work, and they continue to take the damage like the up B there, just, taking the kind of assurance of the percentage rather than trying to go for the extension. Those little bits of chip damage can really rack up here. Only 20% up to Ninja Nick, and this up B doing a lot of work. Down air's going to clip them as they tried to counterattack through that platform. Now the switch back to Ivysaur, stalling out and changing up the pacing too. You saw Zidane want to move forward there and try and punish, but the change of pace from that down B kind of stalling them in the air meant that they got punished instead.
Yeah, I'm liking Zidane K moving over to this more reactionary play style. They're using this Nair at a shield a lot, gets the shield grab here, an opening, but the switch, Zidak doesn't fall for the trap, and yet still Charizard is out to play. Could be a stock right here, but we're seeing the defense come out strong, going for an early switch to Pyra right here. They want to finish off this stock, and even at 78, Pyra can do it, and yet you leave yourself so much more vulnerable to being blown up yourself. Charizard, you can't land on that shield as Pyra. Your moves are strong on shield, but your recovery is not that strong. Even though Pyra is traditionally known with a stronger recovery, she can't get onto the stage. Ninja Nick is starting to run away with this first game.
They'll answer back though. The neutral B from Zidane K will be able to take one off the board. Squirtle gets caught out there, lightest of the three, and there's one stock gone, but still a lot of work to be done here. It's a dash attack. Good chase down right now on this Ivysaur, keeping them off stage. Goes for another neutral B, and that will catch the neutral getup as well. 70% here onto Ninja Nick, and oh my mercy! Forward smash catches the Ivysaur, and all of a sudden it's an even game.
Greed, pure greed, going for that aerial off the ledge when you're at that high of a percent. Even if they didn't react to the charging forward smash, that move could cost them this game right here, because all of a sudden you had a full 2 stocks leads and it's evaporated, and you're going up against Pyramithra, who can be so frustrating to get your hands on, and yet Squirtle isn't nimble, he's elusive, he gets right on in, knocks Zidane K off the stage, and Ninja Nick is able to just weather the storm right there. Coming back in a big way, Zidane K almost put Long Island on the back foot, but ultimately it was not meant to be. Ninja Nick holding on to the lead right here, going into the second player.
Yeah, Ninja Nick holding on to that last stock, so they'll have a 1 stock lead headed into our next match. Zidane K taken off the board, though, very close, especially because of that forward smash, but Pyramithra, sometimes you have to take those risks if you're going to mount those comebacks. The Pyra able to get the job done there, and that hitbox on the forward smash just so massive, so hard to deal with, especially when you're in the corner like Ivysaur was.
And keeping them in the corner, that was where Zidane K was starting to find a little bit of a ledge to work with. Pardon the pun. They were using these lingering moves. They were using the neutral B on both Pyra and Mithra. Strong, lingering moves that catch you when you're looking to react to something, anything. On the ledge, Ninja Nick just wanted to shoot off there, get aggressive, throw an aerial off ledge, but into a lingering hitbox, a lingering sword hitbox, Zidane K was a brick wall. That was where the comeback was starting, and if in the next crew battle, if they they leverage that a little bit stronger instead of trying to rely purely on the reactions, we could see a little bit of a stronger performance. But overall, you can't really be too mad at either player right here. Very even game, as even as it can be after the first to start out.
Yeah, very, very close game. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised. Didn't feel like there were a ton of first round jitters from these two either. Felt like they were both pretty solid overall. Good combos, good pressure from both. I did like at the beginning, though, Ninja Nick's use of Squirtle seemed very, very solid. The only time the Squirtle really got caught out was that opening stock where they lost to the neutral B of Pyra using a side B to try and recover. But outside of that, good damage, good chip damage. The up B usage might have been a little frequent, but I mean, it's damage is damage, and that's what Squirtle is meant for.
Yeah, and it's one of Squirtle's more disjointed options. It also catches them in the air, and we saw Zidane K going for a lot of rising aerials. I mean, it's the most easily accessible offensive option in Ultimate with that buffer option. And so, when you see those rising aerials, you want to be on a character that's small, can dart under their attacks, and pop up with an up B, with a forward tilt, and catch them, start their combo, get some good damage, put them off stage, and finish them off with a water gun, an edge guard, or Ivysaur juggling them to their death.
And that's what we saw on at least two of those stocks. That last stock, I believe, just taken via a forward or catching a jump. I believe that Zidane K thought they still had their jump remaining. That's why you saw that up B come out so late. But Squirtle able to sneak underneath some of those hitboxes like you mentioned. So we'll have to see how Ninja Nick plays it out. And again, he doesn't start that last stock now on that 70 or 80% that he had. He starts fresh at 0, so he can go back to that combo game as Squirtle right off the bat here. Curious to see now where Suni Canton goes. We talked a little bit about the lineup. Zidane K, one of the newer players. Top Dog still waiting in the wings. Do they save him as the anchor, or do they put him here in this middle spot? We are waiting to find out. But going against a Pokemon trainer, there's not necessarily a great character counter pick in Suni Canton's pocket for someone like this.
Yeah, I mean, the one critique sometimes leveraged against Pokemon Trainer is they don't really have an X factor for getting off the ledge, but right here in this week 1 matchup, I don't think that really matters. However, Ridley has explosive options on the ledge, charging up lingering hitboxes like I mentioned before with that fireball shootout, just lingering projectiles, catching them off guard. If you're able to disrupt Ninja Nick's rhythm by disabling parts of the stage temporarily, that is where your X factor lies. However, even as I say that, Ninja Nick has a far better tool for doing that. Like, you have the fireball, sure, but the Razor Leaf, even though type advantages and all that jazz, is way better for controlling that stage. That slow hitbox, that powerful pop-up hitbox is way better here. And we'll see if Lord Cat II leverages those fireballs, if Ivysaur is going to be the answer, but I think Squirtle has to be the starter right here, especially against a big body like Ridley.
Yeah, I love the pick here, and starting off with Squirtle, we are underway for the second round here. Ninja Nick, I think they left stage hazards on. Oh no.
That's not supposed to happen. It could be fun. It could be fun. However, we're all about competitive integrity here at the ECAC. And so we're going to make sure this all goes smoothly. A little bit of a reset right here. We know, though, right now, Ninja Nick is going to be starting out on the Squirtle, which was the obvious pick, 100%. I fought a little bit for that Ivysaur, but the Squirtle is going to be big, playing very grounded right here. And so I'm looking for Lord Cat II to leverage tilts, to leverage those landing aerials. You don't want to be rising with aerials against Squirtle unless you can guarantee you're going to get a hit. Otherwise, you're just in the air, unactionable, with Squirtle underneath you, ready to start a combo. So we'll see if Lord Cat II can stick to that gameplay, or if Ninja Nick is going to get that opening.
Yeah, I agree. The second, that Ridley Nair is something that is really easy to use kind of as a rising aerial because it's just such a massive hitbox, so easy to throw out. But like you mentioned, Squirtle, just such a small hitbox, being able to crouch underneath and then being able to get up tilted by Squirtle right after that, that's just so much damage that you could potentially take. So you got to be very, very careful here if you're Lord Cat II. I am curious, though, about the stage selection here. Kalos is one that we don't frequently see, except for, well, in specific situations like this, where you only need to take one stock. It is a counter pick of sorts. So do you think the stage is going to come into play as a massive factor here for this one stock, or is it just kind of a comfort pick?
So I mentioned getting stuck at the ledge a lot is kind of hard, and Kalos is a stage where that can happen. You really only have 2 options to go to. However, with Squirtle's combo game, I feel like Ninja Nick benefits way stronger here. I mean, stages like Final Destination, like Kalos, exasperate already strong combo games. It exaggerates the strengths that characters already have. And with that combo game, you can see Ninja Nick already suffocating, and yet Lord Cat II finding stable ground now.
Finding some jabs in there for good damage early. There is the potential for Ridley to get an early kill on Squirtle, but that's a harsh call out to try and make. They got to play careful here. Rapid jab won't land that time. Roll behind. Got him in for a little bit of chip damage. Lord Cat now down throw, looking for the up air. Gets a second one, and it does kill off the top this time around. Ridley is big, but he's not all that heavy, and down goes the first stock of Lord Cat II.
Oppressive pressure as soon as Lord Cat II got the pop-up percent from that Razor lead. And you can see the Ivysaur already coming out. Ninja Nick knowing that they can't afford to be in close range in a light body like Squirtle. They know they work best when they are below with that disjointed up air. Going in already, they have a percentage lead again, Soy. Is Ninja Nick gonna run away with this first crew battle? No, that is a surprise up smash. Out of nowhere, Ninja Nick getting a little too excited with those buttons, and Lord Cat II gonna shut that right down. We're back to a relatively even game here between LIU and SUNY Canton.
1 stock differential once again. Lord Cat able to stop the bleeding with that up smash, and a big one too. Like you mentioned, the percents were both in the red. Danger territory for both characters, but Lord Cat II able to find that up smash, and I completely agree. Ivysaur just getting a little bit too aggressive there. Wanted 1 extra hit before potentially going for something like a grab, but too little too late in the moment, and thus they are off the board now, and Long Island will have to debate who to send in to face 2 stocks of Lord Cat II's Ridley.
And that's a tough one right here. I'm looking at LIU's lineup right here, and I see who I would say is the objective right pick to go in, and I think that is DS Mario main. Coming in as Mario, we've seen how Mario can just body big body characters without really needing to risk too much, because when you do that full hop fireball, it's positive on shield. You can get a grab, you can get a falling up air, a falling nair for a horizontal combo. It doesn't really matter what your opening is. Mario has them and has the ability to fish for them basically every single jump that they take if you don't have the mobility to punish Mario for going that. Now, if Lord Cat II can call that out, dashing underneath that fireball, getting a strong opening on the landing, then we might see a little bit of a different story. However, I do think DS Mario main is probably the pick. However, controversial pick, I think My Guy might be coming in. My Guy's the contact, the team captain, and it is going to be My Guy on the Little Mac opening up against Lord Cat II. 2 stocks on Lord Cat II. 3 on My Guy, and it's going to be a game of who can control the ground. Is it going to be Lord Cat II effectively shutting down My Guy whatsoever, or is it going to be My Guy running away with kill after kill after kill because they have full run of the stage?
I'm very excited to see My Guy step in for Long Island, because not only is, you mentioned it, My Guy is the captain. And when your captain is on a character like Little Mac, where your decision making has to be, near perfect, and they have to make the right decisions. Otherwise, they can get killed very, very quickly. That kind of pendulum-esque gameplay means that this is a very smart player right off the bat. So to put them in here in this second spot, this is going to be an exciting matchup here. Looks like we're going to small battlefield as well here. 1 stock lead here for for Long Island. SUNY Canton's Lord Cat II on the Ridley, and we are underway. Dash attack early jump use as well, the air dodge, but we'll make it back to stage. And look at the pressure already. So far, it's going to be the Little Mac controlling the ground. That down smash nearly connected too, and that could have been very dangerous, but we're seeing a lot of early air dodges, and so far it's working out.
With Little Mac, you're going to be seeing a lot of 1-2 combos. You pop them up, you hit them hard. Over and over again, whether it's the up tilt or down tilt or a jab lock, whatever the case, you need to get that pop-up, and all of a sudden Little Mac has all the options in the world. But until you get that pop-up, that's when you see these options right here. all of a sudden, my guy is struggling, but they get that dash back forward smash, and all of a sudden, it's my guy with the 2-1 lead off stage right here. They should get back on, goes way too deep on that recovery. All of a sudden, it's my guy with the stage control, and it's Lord Cat trying to land. They're already taking a bunch of damage, almost gets the jab block. No kill for you yet, though, my guy.
You can see my guy, he is hunting right now. He's getting a good read, able to find these 1 or 2 hits, but he gets called out. We've seen a couple of these counters used just too early, and the forward smash will connect after the counter leaves. Thus, a stock comes off the board. Another up smash here. Has to land, we'll be able to do so. Immediate dash attack, too, to respond and get them off stage. Down tilt into up air. Tried to get fancy with it, tried to call out another air dodge, and that is so dangerous right now. Nair will interrupt that potential combo, but dashing back and forth once again. You talk about the ground game, and my guy right now has it in spades.
Yet these trades are not going in their way. Goes for the fully charged up smash, and Lord Cat II has one in return, and then my guy has one in return to that. And even if Lord Cat II survived that one, another anti-air was waiting in the wings. The up KO punch too. My guy answered anti-air after anti-air after anti-air, and it's going to be my guy getting the lead for LIU.
The defense of my guy coming in clutch there. Just so many great call-outs. And like you mentioned, just 2 hits apiece. Just keep chipping away. And eventually those stocks will come off the board. And my guy just doing such a good job of kind of recognizing, too, once he got 1 or 2 hits, even the call-outs, even though he wasn't landing, things like an air dodge read, the looming threat of him saying, hey, you will be right here. As a player in disadvantage, you're going, all right, now I can't do that anymore because he's looking for that. That's the option that he's looking for. And I think that kind of puts you in a scared factor. And Lord Cat II not able to get anything other than that initial first stock off the board means it's a pretty significant lead for Long Island, as SUNY Canton will have to decide who to send in as their last player.
Yeah, and my guy, the one thing you've got to watch out for, more than anything, I feel, we talked about the ground game a lot, and you should still keep your eye on that. Don't take your eye off the ball. But secondary thing to keep your eye on is definitely the way my guy is recovering and how well they're varying it. They're going for those counters. They're going for those high recoveries, low recoveries, anything that they can. Because, I'll be honest, when you have a lingering hitbox like Ridley's Nair, everything in you wants to just run off stage, Nair, hit them away, and win. And that works on all your friends, all the little Macs you'll meet online, but it's not going to work on my guy because of all that variation, and we saw how it didn't work out. And so you have to not overcommit on these edge guards. If you can hold your ground, if you can make my guy guess time and time again on the recovery, we might see my guy go down here against Top Dog. Oh no, it's actually Wobble coming in. I thought it was Top Dog for a second. So Top Dog, not even out to play yet. Very interesting right here, giving a lot of respect. Ooh.
I do like the character pick, though. Corrin, you get that disjoint of the sword, you get the projectiles to kind of work with, and on a stage like Kalos, you do have a lot of space to work with, so you can see the game plan here, and it is the first set of a potential best of 3, or at least it is a best of 3, but this is for the first set, and so far, my guy, he does not care. He wants the win right now, and he is smelling blood in the water. Up smash galore. Down goes Wobble's first stock.
Wobble got one opening off of a down air, and so they kept going up in the air to try and get another one, and my guy just kept popping them back up again and again and again and again, and the pop-up again. They don't pull the trigger on that KO punch. That was a free kill right there, and there's another one for you, Soy. It's gonna be Wobble down to their last stock. My guy putting on a demonstration right now on Kalos.
Gotta be very careful here if you're Wobble. Last stock here of this opening set. Can't get the jabs off. Little Mac's just faster. Falls right into a forward smash as well. Up B will get some damage online here, but what can they do about it? Up smash clanked with something there from Little Mac, and nearly a call out on that down air as well. My guy's reading the plays very well right now. Hits him up. Goes for the up B, and that's gonna do it. Long Island close out the first set of the year.
Fantastic stuff there from my guy to open up, strutting their stuff, showing exactly what they are made of. And honestly, Soy, that is what I'm hoping to see from these new players. I talked to you about these curveballs that could be coming out here, and my guy was who I was referencing more than anyone. Team captain, a Little Mac, you know they're going to be putting on a show, and how did they put on that show? With constant pressure, and yet not it was a phantom pressure. They weren't actually zoning out their opponent. They were just threatening the attacks. They were just making their opponent scared to land on top of them. And now I think that is a little bit thanks to the stage pick. I don't think Kalos was the play right there. You don't take Kalos, you don't take Kazuya to Kalos because you know that you're forced to interact with them. And that's exactly what happened there. You're forced to interact with Little Mac when you don't have platforms to disengage on. And sure, Little Mac has up beyond platforms shenanigans, but they're reactable. You can handle that. And if you're not willing to try to take those chances to try to react to those platform burst options and you go to a Final Destination style stage, you're going to be forced to stand toe-to-toe with my guy. And as we just saw right there, that does not go their way.
You know, Wobble, a victim of circumstance, I guess, in that situation, right? Having to try and fight my guy on the ground more frequently than not. And really, I think the game plan for Wobble was to try and create space for themselves, go to a large stage and maybe use some projectiles. But you saw them try more frequently to just try and outspace with things like the aerials. And they ended up clanking more frequently than not. Things like the up smash, I believe tied with the forward tilt, I want to say, of my guy on the ground. And so Wobble just never got the opportunity to get really anything going. It was just kind of stray hit here or there, catching my guy maybe being a little too aggressive once or twice. But when you're on the outside of the stage trying to work your way back in, my guy will take that chip damage. That's just extra rage for him. That's going to mean potentially even faster kills for that character. So either way, Long Island University, they take the first set here, and that means that they are up 1-0 in our best of 3. One more set, and they'll be securing the first win of the season. So SUNY Canton, they'll have to go back to the drawing board here. But if these are the 3 that we're likely to see, we might see Top Dog shift into this lineup, but these are the 3 that they opened with. And what are your thoughts on these 3 in their first kind of performance on stream?
I think that was a little bit of a testing ground. When you have, I feel like all of those were good matchups, but maybe not good player matchups. There were certain things where their character objectively won, but little habits they had, little overextensions didn't work out in their way. But you need to give them that tournament experience. Like I said, everyone but Top Dog, this is their first time playing in the ECAC. They've got to get used to playing on stream. They've got to get used to what it feels like, because otherwise, how can you practice for a feeling you've never experienced? So I understand why you open up right here, but I'm getting word about these subs coming in. We've got Top Dog and Mono coming in. Top Dog, 100%. That's not the matchup. Those are the subs for SUNY Canton. Top Dog, the link. We hyped up a lot because, I'll be honest, they're the only player we saw enough last season to really get a feel for. They've made their name. Mono, a little bit of a question mark. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. And playing, well, maybe I won't spoil that quite yet because I think we're going to get them very soon. However, I am very excited because we've got Battlefield coming on out. Oh, not quite yet. We got the players coming in very soon.
Very, very soon. LIU, they get the first set victory here, and we only saw 2 of their players, but obviously, you know, my guy taking front and center stage with this squad as the captain, as the Little Mac, taking 6 stocks there, I believe, in total, or relatively so, a ton off the board. Really solid. And then on top of that, the first player, Nick Ninja on the Pokemon trainer, seemed like they've got a solid grasp of, you know, the Squirtle and the Ivysaur. The Charizard, really, we didn't see all that frequently. Did take the, I want to say, opening or second stock against the Pyra in that first match, but seemed like they've got a pretty solid fundamental game on their Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they didn't really get a chance to shine as much as they would have wanted because they were pushed up against the wall so fast. However, maybe, just maybe, that they will get the chance to go in. Oh, my guy coming out to start, looking to be the battering ram right here. And that is bravery right there. One, because while this is a smart pick because you're restricting information, you're only showing them the cards that are already on the table. but that means they get not 1, but 2 counter picks against them if things go wrong. However, if things go wrong enough that you need 2 counter picks to beat my guy, I can't say for certain whether this is going to go SUNY Canton's way. So you've got to deal with my guy strong out the gate. And it's going to be Zidane K coming out on the pit to try to do just that. And I like pit as an option here if you can close the distance, which my guy's doing it for them.
My guy just no holds barred, running straight in and doing 79% to Zidane K's first stock, 96. Looking for a way to take it with this up B, but won't be able to find the mark the second time around. Keeping them on this top platform too. Dark Pit able to keep some pressure. Good shield, but forward tilt's just faster than Zidane K's punish. Will be able to land. No ledge required. Gets around that up smash, and now the up B connects, and that will do the trick. Just enough to be able to take that stock at 126, and my guy barely really scratched here. 31%. KO punch is also about to come online. There it is. Pressure on the shield. Maybe a roll? No. Good down tilt instead, and Zidane K avoids the KO punch.
Yes, they do, but we're seeing this game of chips not go the way of Zidane K. You need to be winning 10 interactions for every one my guy is, and as you can see, these empty lands, my guy is not letting that happen. The ratio is purely equal, and they're getting way more value off of it.
Every hit that my guy throws out just feels like a truck, and it's able to take a second stock there. Zidane K, tech in place. Drop shield at the wrong moment too. Look at the pressure from my guy. Good back air off stage though. Side B to the ledge. Now getting back towards center stage. KO punch online. Holds the neutral B, and oh my guy, 3 stock to open up set number 2.
Zidane K goes in for the landing right there, and they throw up their guard. They're hiding behind it. They can't see a thing, and they think they're safe. They drop their guard, and the moment they do, bam! Uppercut straight to the jaw, knockout. Clean as can be. 3 stock opener right here from my guy right here. As strong as he possibly can be. We saw the first crew battle open up with a very balanced opening. What, 2 stocks to 3 stocks? That's not really that bad. No, we're not seeing that this time. We are seeing the strongest opening we can be. My guy is showing themselves to be without counter right now, and it's up to SUNY Canton to prove that they can put a chip in this block.
And I feel like that play right at the end is that little bit of first round jitters or first time on stream, because it seemed like the right play from Zidane K. You see that KO punch come online. You've seen how frequently you've been landing on stage empty. It feels like, okay, this is the perfect time. I'm going to do it again, and this is the counter. I'm going to throw out this down B. I'm going to shield it. He'll miss. Perfect opportunity to punish. But he does it early, and he leaves my guy the time to react to it, and the patience from my guy to wait for that play, knowing that that's an option still in the playbook. Plays patient, waits for his time to strike, and then instantly KO punches, pulls the trigger on it, and just like that, it's a massive, massive lead. A full player off the board, and no more messing around from the Kangaroos. They're sending in, I've already blanked on his name, Top Dog. My apologies.
Yeah, and LIU is taking a page off of Canton's book, floating like a butterfly, or floating like a kangaroo, stinging like a bee, because, well, that's what it feels like as empty hop after empty hop comes out of my guy, and we're seeing them called out here. You can't let my guy get away with these non-threatening landings, and yet that is what the other players have been doing. Top Dog has to put a stop to that right this instant. You're not getting away with any empty lands in front of me, my friend. Unless they are, because now my guy's controlling the ground game. Jab to put Top Dog off stage. No access to that bomb. Nair comes out way too early, but the up B is the perfect get off me tool. Top Dog is not letting my guy on them whatsoever. Oh!
Well done there from Top Dog. You saw the jump used instantly by my guy to try and recover, and Top Dog knows the perfect angle to throw that bomb at, and the connection on the explosion will knock Little Mac off the stage. So 1 stock down, 2 more to go here for Top Dog. 51% starting to get in that threatening range, especially if that connects. That's 81 now onto Top Dog, but the roll-in gets caught by the boomerang. Top Dog covering a lot of options, and we've seen that up B out of shield a couple of times. Good connection and will kill at higher percents, so look for that as this match goes on. But for now, the forward tilt will knock Top Dog off stage. Up B's back to the ledge, bomb in hand as well. Throws it down, does not connect on the explosion. Good shielding by my guy. We'll use the bomb to throw it back, and now KO punch. A lot of good options here, but Top Dog holding on. Strong defense overall.
And look at the respect coming out now from my guy. It was a very fast, aggressive first game, but not that time. Ooh, just a little chip is all you need. Top Dog showing exactly why Little Mac sat at the bottom of many people's tier lists for a while. All you need is one little hit, and this glass cannon goes off into the recycling bin. My guy right here gets the anti-air, gets the kill. Okay, my guy's still in this hit, and you gotta remember, LIU still has the lead, but against Top Dog, this immovable object, we might not see that lead last for long unless my guy can get another stock off the board here.
Dancing around this platform, or underneath it, was my guy. Eventually he'll land the rapid jab. Up B though, that's gonna get punished. Good 43% now onto Top Dog. How does he find a way in? Another up B out of shield. KO punch online. Try to pull the trigger immediately, but now he has to dodge all of these projectiles. Able to shield a lot of them, and now looking to chase him down, but gets hit once. Forward tilt off stage. Doesn't get the ledge trump. Up tilt. Reads the low landing instead. Another forward smash. 88%. Won't be able to catch the snap to the ledge either. Try to drop the bomb, but not fast enough. And this is where things get dangerous for Top Dog. You'd love to hold on to this stock if you're Suni Canton, but 91%, a little bit of rage at this percentage. They're starting to think about Lil Mac being able to take this stock. They got to be careful though. Bomb in, another forward smash. Then they're going to get punished for it. Up smash will do the trick, and Suni Canton fire back.
The only reason that Link is able to get away with so many bomb combos is because Link has so many really, really quick answering moves. The first hit of back air, the first hit of neutral air. You see those moves come out again and again and again with the Z drop. And while Little Mac is fast, he is not quite fast enough to throw the bomb across the stage, run all the way across, and get a forward smash. You're banking on Top Dog messing up right there. And while I appreciate the free-flowing creativity, that was a risk that did not end up paying off. And yet, we still have a slight lead for LIU. My guy was still able to get a stock off the board, and if they are able to maintain that lead against Top Dog, leverage that, then we could see LIU close this out, yet Top Dog is not looking to make that easy.
Top Dog, importantly, holding on to that second stock. That is a massive stock for him to hold on to, because now it is only a one stock lead for the Sharks of Long Island University. So we'll have to see who steps in here to play against Top Dog. Looked like it was going to be DS Mario main, but we'll have to get confirmation on that momentarily. Either way, so far, Top Dog, smart game plan, and executed very, very well. And the fact that they were able to hold on to that second stock is really important because of now the potential matchup incoming. Long Island, I mean, my guy did a fantastic job being able to eliminate all three stocks off the bat and close out that first set, but now he's going to rely on the depth of the lineup here to get the job done in set number 2.
Yes, he is. And where is that going to take us? Like you said, DS Mario main is the expected pick, but Mario can struggle a bit with these disjoints and with these characters that kind of just chew you away. I do like Mario's ability to deal with zoners with the cape, but also just with strong aerials that clank with moves. In the same way Link's Nair just kind of invalidates a lot of projectiles, Mario's back air is a good semi-reflector in the way you can just throw it out and use it as an approaching tool because of how fast and non-committal it is, and it is going to be the Mario coming out right here. What I'm looking to see more than anything is not necessarily the vertical combos, though that would be wonderful, but the horizontal combos, getting a landing Nair, back air, get them off stage, and then the finishers. Can you actually close it out with Mario, or is their stock going to linger well into the 150s? If we're seeing sub 100 kills, I think DS Mario main has it in the bag, but if Top Dog can hold onto their defense, then maybe, just maybe, it's going to be a game 3 coming out.
Gotta be very careful too. DS Mario Main, so many projectiles to worry about. Bomb, boomerang, approaching, disengaging. Now, look at this. 80% very, very quickly on a DS Mario Main there. They are able to get to that upper platform. Now maybe a combo. No, not off the throw. Good DI from Top Dog to get away. 29% on the Top Dog. And they're backing away. Fireball to approach. Down throw into up air. Oh, good timed air dodge there. Just barely able to escape that second up air, because if that connects, that's likely leading to the classic forward aerial. Now another shield on the boomerang. Jabs won't land quite yet. And it's really back and forth. It was an 80% lead from Top Dog, but now he's being lapped and he just barely evades the down smash.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing. A lot of these full hop fireballs forcing Top Dog to make decisions. You've talked to me many times, Soy, about how I believe forcing people to make decisions is the best thing you can do. And Top Dog says, actually, I'm making a decision. I'm making an executive call to get back onto stage. The bomb recovery puts Top Dog in a position where they can actually fight back here. But 150%, like I said, this could be Top Dog's win condition, but only if they're able to close out their food as well. And right now, that strong back air is not good enough to do it yet. Top Dog holding on, not giving up, but the down air doesn't do it at 160%. An opportunity right here, but saved by the platform. Top Dog does not live there. DS Mario Main is able to hang on to their stock.
Good recognition there from DS Mario Main. I feel like 9 out of 10 players look at that opportunity and say, are you kidding me? The platform came in at just the right moment and they let Top Dog back on the stage, but he goes up there and finishes the job. And now 131 here on DS Mario Main. You'd think they'd have to play careful, but look at that. They get the up air and an extra little bit of damage on that platform. 56 now. Down tilt into these up airs. Does he pull the trigger on the up B? No, not this time around. Goes for the flood, but a second flood will do the trick, and down goes Top Dog. DS Mario Main holds all three.
And while I'm happy that SUNY Canton got all their players out to play, this could be a little dicey right now, Soy. It could be a little tricky, because this now demonstrates two walls in the LIU roster. If you somehow manage to beat out LIU, beat out DS Mario Main, and whatever three stocks are remaining on the other end, then you got to go through my guy and DS Mario Main once again. And they've both proven to be extraordinarily strong combatants, and no one else is really a slouch either. I am excited to see is Zidane K probably coming out again? I believe that was who subbed in. Oh, no, Zidane K opened it up. It's got to be Mono.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking Mono is probably the play here, unless you opt to send in. We saw Wobble and Lord Cat II in that previous set, but if you want to get Mono into the spotlight, now is the time to do it. And it's going to be a tough matchup either way. You got to go up against a fully reset DS Mario Main, who, I mean, looked fantastic. Shut down Top Dog, who we were talking about as one of the spotlight players of this matchup, and really solid stuff. You know, you were talking about it, just you'd love to see the vertical combos, and they were starting to get them, right? After that quick air dodge that Top Dog got away with on that opening stock, you saw a little bit of that vertical play come into play, the down tilts into up airs, the platforms helping out on that stage as well. So DS Mario Main's got very solid mastery of this character, it feels like.
Yes, they do. The one thing that got me about those vertical combos, Soy, is that they didn't pull the trigger every single time. They knew when to show restraint, and we saw them get creative with their finishers. A drag down air, though I don't think it was meant to be a drag down, into more up airs, just dropping back down to the fast fall and waiting for your opponent to pick an option, then punishing it. They are letting their opponent make a decision while they're in disadvantage, and then capitalizing hard, consistently, time and time again. That's the strength of Mario, to be able to have fast enough moves, low enough end lag moves, where you can make your opponent react, and then you can use their decision against them. That's what we saw right there from DS Mario Main a lot. And the other thing, crucially, those full hop fireballs into landing aerials. I honestly think DS Mario Main got away with it a little too much. I think they were a little too fast and loose with it. But Top Dog wasn't really countering it. And if Top Dog's not going to do it, who is? You know, Top Dog's right there in that room with their teammates being like, Okay, they got me with the full hop fireballs. I admit it. I got. Here's what you need to do to stop it. You need to make sure you're either out of the range where DS Mario Main can land on top of you, or you need to be jump over it and be ready for their landing aerials, because that looked a lot like muscle memory to me. DS Mario Main was just full hopping, going in with the landing aerial, and hitting their shield and not really caring because Mario is really fast. But if you have a character who's being preemptive, who is stuffing out both the fireball and the landing aerial, then all of a sudden you have DS Mario Main forced to rethink their entire game plan, their entire muscle memory right in the middle of the game.
And that is a hard switch to flick in that moment too for DS Mario Main. So if you can find that window, that is your window back into the game. But that's going to be hard to find here for SUNY Canton, as we see the Wolf as the pick here, which signals to me that it is going to be Mono stepping into the ring as the third member here for the Kangaroos of SUNY Canton A. We'll have to see how they fare. This is a classic matchup. I feel like this is the day one. All right, these characters are dangerous. I feel like that's what we're kind of seeing here. We'll have to see how Mono's Wolf does on small battlefield here. The 3-3 stock count, and remember, Long Island still got that full player waiting in the wings, so it's a must-win situation for Mono the Wolf.
Well, and already I'm seeing Mono being a little too aerial for my liking. It gets them the lead right now, but going for these full hops again and again, burning their double jump in neutral, that's exactly what DS Mario Main wants to see. Air dodging back onto the platform with the Waveland, but it's not the extension that they need, and yet they don't really care. They just let Mono get back to center stage because they're reading their habits. They're getting ready. They tried to read right there, but it's not going to happen. DS Mario Main waits by the edge, waits for the opportunity to punish. Mono does not give it to them.
Dangerous opportunity, though. You can see that DS Mario Main is starting to get a pretty good read of where Mono wants to be, and it's right at center stage. They're just simply kind of walking back whenever Mono is in recovery, just giving them the space, does not want to get called out by something. And now, both at high percents here, looking for a way to end this stock. Tried to shine him there. Not an option. Maybe expecting another fireball. But either way, DS Mario Main able to capitalize with the up smash.
So Shine on Wolf is the one Shine that actually has combo potential, and I can see the creativity. However, it might have been a little too flashy for my taste, as right now DS Mario Main is getting the low percent advantage that we've been seeing. Again, they are a unrelenting drill, just burrowing into the stage, burrowing into any space Mono tries to claim for themselves. Up air, is it gonna be the up B? It's gonna be the finisher right there. 0 to death right there for DS Mario Main. They're going to be untouched on this second stock, and they get another opener, Soy.
And they're looking for more here. The fireball connects as well. 15%, and Mono, they're just trying to buy themselves space. They're just trying to get something, anything on the board here. But look at this. Up air into Nair. Back air as well. They get the grab. Up air. They don't air dodge onto the platform, though, so the Wolf will escape for now. But the fireball lands. 66%. Nair. Oh, they tried to catch the roll in. Grab landed. Another dash attack. Will not connect. The shield is strong. And the jump is called out. DS Mario Main dunks it in, and Long Island will take the opener of the season.
That was so fast. Usually you see the forward air kind of telegraphed. You see the up air, forward air again. Forward air is best with setup, always best with setup. And yeah, if you know your opponent only wants to get back on a stage, that's the only thought in their head. They're not thinking at all about what you're going to do to them. All they're thinking is, I need to get back to center stage. What are my options? How am I going to get there? That's when you can throw out that brick wall, that forward air, to send them straight down in the blast zone and secure a 2-0 win in the first series of ECAC, starting this snowball, starting the season off strong. Good on you, LIU.
What a strong opening from Long Island University, and really everyone stepping up. Obviously, my guy, was the star of the opening series, but DS Mario Main, they look like another solid threat to this team. The 1-2 punch for the Sharks, really helping close out this series. And like you said, just being able to identify, those little tells, like being, like Mono saying, all right, I need to get back to center stage, and then just continually getting read after read. Well done, well scouted, and a fantastic win for the Long Island Sharks.
Really was. Showed a lot of their showed a lot of their versatility, a lot of their ability to adapt, and a lot of their style too. And we can ask them more about that in just a little bit. We're going to try and seek out an interview with someone from LIU. And while we do that, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. ECAC Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be back in just a couple of minutes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ECAC Fall 2023 split. We just got to see Long Island University take a 2-0 sweep over SUNY Canton A. It was a fantastic series, a lot of explosive plays, and Kilo Miles, part of those explosive plays was the 2 stars of the game, My Guy and DS Mario Man.
And we do have DS Mario Man coming in with us here. How you doing right now? How did that win feel to open up the season? Hey, that's what we're always looking for. We want it to be feeling good. We want it to feeling right. Like compared to last season, how did this start feel going into the season?
Well, compared to last season, I was a little nervous at first because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But this season, I feel really good about it. Like very prepared about what's going to happen next. In fact, I'm having a lot of fun with these tournaments.
Yeah.
Got to make some more friends, meet some new people.
Yeah. And speaking of meeting new people, I know you were at a post-university last year at the Campus Series Invitational with ECAC. Did you get a chance to like really connect with a bunch of teams in your region there?
I did, actually. In fact, some of them even recognized my Mario from when I used to post my clips online.
That's sick. And can I ask, clippable moments, was there anything that you were hoping to hit, like any dream combo? First of all, any clip from this, but anything that you wish you could have like brought together right here that almost came through? Like, were there any moments where you're like, that was the one?
Yes. Like just the matches I had earlier, I was wishing I was trying to like get a roll read on my players, but they were like very unpredictable. So unfortunately, I couldn't get the roll reads. But luckily,
I understand.
Get some good spikes at the end.
Yeah, that was a strong way to close it out. And overall, I guess my last question for you, you have a very strong core with you and My Guy, but you do have a couple new players coming in here. We saw Ninja Nick, who I believe is new, but overall, like, how are you feeling about the new dynamic going into the season?
I feel like it's going pretty well. I feel like, the team, we get along really well. Everyone, sorry. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We all get along pretty well, and we know how to play. We know our matchups. We know our strengths. We know our weaknesses. So I think we made a pretty good team together.
Having that solid core, knowing who you are as a player is always good to have. Can you give us an idea for those who are kind of new to LIU, kind of what the spread looks like of your team in terms of upperclassmen, lowerclassmen experience across the board?
Tournaments, you can be competitive, but don't be like too competitive. It's okay to have fun. And when you're playing Smash Bros, try to learn your opponent's matchup. Like, try to learn your strengths, try to learn their weaknesses. Try to, when you're trying to defend yourself on the field, try to be more inconsistent so that you're not making yourself predictable. Like when you're off stage, you're about to get edge guarded, try to mix up your recovery. When you're attacking, try to see what choices your players will make, your opponents. Because they could be predictable at times. So if you can, pay attention to how they play, and you can get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Good insight there. And I'm curious as to you guys as a team. Do you guys do any kind of homework on your opponents? Because next week you guys have a matchup against, I believe it's Farmingdale University, or Farmingdale State, excuse me, the Rams next week. So what's the prep work going to look like for you guys and that matchup?
Like, could you elaborate?
I'm curious if you guys know anything about your opponent next week. If there's any, what do you do to prepare for these weekly matchups? Do you have a pregame ritual, or do you just kind of what do your practices look like?
We usually have a pregame ritual. We practice against each other sometimes to get prepared for the next matches against other campuses, so that we can learn how to play against other players as well.
That's that's a completely fair answer. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, DS Mario Man, DS Mario Man, and congratulations on the win. Fantastic stuff, and we will see you next week for that Farmingdale matchup.
Having me.
Well, that just about does it here for us at ECAC. Miles, any kind of final thoughts to help wrap up week 1?
Just that ECAC and Esports U continue all week long. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST, we've got ECAC Valorant week 1. We've got Randolph Macron College versus Weber State University with Vincent and Rare Adams. So be sure to come on back around. Come on, tune in for that. We're only just getting this ball rolling, only just getting this season started, and you should be there. But for now, I've been Kilo Miles. This has been Soy. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Let's hear it for the new season.